Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Caballo, the College Dean. Good morning, Madam VPAA, Maria
Morning, Dean.
Flordalisa de Guzman. Good morning, Ma'am. Good morning, Dr. Ambassador. It's nice to meet you today.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Please meet our VPAA.
Hi, Dr. Mobo. Nice to see you here.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Nice to see you also.
um, yeah, Dr. Aris, good morning. Good morning, everyone. I Good morning, sir. Dr. Mobo. I did not expect you're that too young.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning po. Usually when directors, assistant director, and so on, knowing Filipino culture, usually uh, young people do not occupy such a position. But in your case, you look very young po. Nice to
Yes,
see and
sir.
meet you, sir.
I'm still 42, sir.
Yes. Dr. Mobo, how's your academy po?
The PMMA right now is now okay with regards to the pandemic problem and other issues that it was already been settled last time in terms of legal matters and everything, sir. It was already
Yes,
settled.
sir. I heard the news. I hope the academy will settle it soon. Mm-mm.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I read in your resume that once you were also connected with Columban College.
Yes, sir. I'm also connected with Columban College in the
Yes, I
graduate
know a
school.
lot of people there, sir, especially Dr. CG
Okay.
Almazan.
Yes, sir. Dr. C.J. Almasan. How about
Yeah,
Sir
Dr.
Dr.
CG
David
Almazan.
Bueno?
Opo. Currently, he's
Yes.
the he was my classmates in the graduate program at MLQ, and also a good friend of mine. Actually, is inviting me to visit Columban. Sabi ko, perhaps in the better times. Currently,
Yes,
he
sir.
is the dean of College of Art Sciences and Nursing.
Yes, sir. He's the Dean of
Mm-mm-mm.
College of Arts Nursing. And
And also, is very good in quality assurance. That's why sometimes I'm asking some information from him, and he's really very helpful. Perhaps one day, Madam VP, we could also visit them, no po? Even remote or virtually. Columban College of Olongapo City, run by the Columban Fathers.
yes, sir.
Yes, let's go there. I hope
Opo.
welcome.
Oh, yes. Sir, Dr. Mobo, malayo ba sir yung campus nyo from Olongapo, from Columban? How
Yes, sir.
many more kilometers?
Most likely, sir, if you're going to drive from Olongapo to San Narciso, it will take 1 hour, 45 minutes to
1
1 hour,
hour.
45 minutes the
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
most.
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. I've been to Zambales pero masyado na siyang malayo yung sa
Yes, sir.
iba mismo. There was a resort there we visited once. Good
Maybe, sir, in
morning also
Iba.
to our presenters. Yes, sir. Mm-mm. Sir, how is the conduct of online class in your academy, sir? Most especially in your academy. No problem. Hindi kayo, sir, online, ano? Kasi in-house naman yata yung mga students, no?
Actually, sir, because of the problem of the pandemic, some of our professors are are doing the work from home mode. So we are using the learning management system, but there are some challenges, especially in the connectivity problem in the internet.
Opo.
That's the most problem.
Medyo remote yung place you, sir, di ba?
Yes, sir. It's more, mas marami po siyang puno. sa paligid. Kaya yun yung challenges ko,
Opo.
sir.
Nag-open na po yung klase niyo, sir?
Ano sir, bali sa break pa lang po ngayon. Then it will open by September.
Welcome, Dr. Ronnie Pasige, the co-chair of the scientific committee. We're talking with the keynote speaker, Dr. Porlan Mobo. Please.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Dean. Good morning, esteemed guest. Good morning, VP.
Good morning, Dr. Pasigi.
Good morning. Good morning po.
Good morning. I do hope our presenters are excited. Good morning, Miss Bea.
Good morning po, Dean.
Yeah, good morning. Professor Basilia.
Morning, Dean.
Yeah, Professor Basilia, how's UP? How's UP this pandemic?
Nag-start na sir yung mid-year. So, back na naman.
You belong pala to the same school, no? Sir, you're also from UP po. I saw your sablay, Dr. Mobo.
Yes, yes sir. 2000 class of 2019, sir.
Same with our VPAA. The sablay people.
I have my sablay
Madam
here.
VP, I saw. Opo, ayun pala, naka-red sa likod.
Recording.
Yeah. Yes, Professor Basilia is also from the University of the Philippines. By the way, VP, I saw the online ceremonies po ng PNU. Napakaganda, ma'am, no?
Yes.
Yes. Napagdiriwang ng silo and the other and their graduation rites.
Hindi ko napanood ng buo, sir.
Pero
I'm sure maganda yun.
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Nazareno, good morning po.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Just a close check with our presenters. We have Professor Menzel is here, Professor Labrador, Professor Basilia, Dr. Pasige. We have also Ray Dodison, our student from Business Administration. Our student from IT. Yeah, we have Lorena. So we will start at exactly 9 o'clock with permission from the VP, the chair, and also the chair and the co-chair and the members of the scientific committee. Professor Labrador, how many more minutes are we waiting?
It's 8:54 a.m. po.
Okay, so we will start just right on time. Just for the meantime, let us enjoy a quick chit chat. Professor Basilia, what is new in UP? Kumusta yung entrance exam nila? Hindi tayo makuha ni Professor Basilia. Good morning, Guidance Counselor Pilayo.
Morning, sir. Morning to all.
Good morning, Dr. Chavez.
Good morning.
I guess people from the public school are now very busy, Dr. Chavez.
Yes po, katatapos lang, Doc. Walang tulugan.
But still surviving.
Yes. Success.
Dr. Froiland, may I ask po,
Yes, ma'am, sir.
sir, ano yung difference nung yung nature ng school niyo po compared to other school, yung ordinary state U and state colleges?
Our institution is quasi-military institution, sir. We're only offering two programs, na marine engineering and marine transportation. So, and we also partnered with the DOTR and Marina, the maritime regulations, who is also part with the Commission on Higher Education. So purely we are a quasi-military, and that is one of the mandate that was been set pa po nung nakaset pa po kami sa Manila before.
Ilan ang population niyo, sir?
Bali, sir, sa most likely hanggang 800 lang, sir. Hindi kasi kami pwede lumagpas more than that.
All year levels na po yun, yung 800.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The members of the faculty, sir, civilian po sila?
Meron pong mga alumni ng PMMA po, sir. Bali, if I'm not mistaken, 50% from alumni of PMMA, and then half of that from the general education professor.
Sir, hindi naman siya parang PMA o paano ba yun?
Para siyang ganun, sir. Para siyang PMA.
Para siyang PMA. So, pagka-graduate, sir, ng students nyo, sa armed forces sila?
Sa, sir, Philippine Coast Guard, mostly, and Philippine Navy, but they are ranked on second lieutenant, commission as second lieutenant, and then possible, sir, when yung employment, they will be on private shipping vessel, international shipping vessel.
Nice to hear that, sir. Kasi parang minsan kasi there are also parang other schools, sir, in Manila na parang ganun yung sound ng school. Philippine Merchant Marine, may mga ganun din sila eh. Pero it's basically a school for seamanship, parang ganun yata, sir, no?
Yes, sir. Actually, sir, meron kaming graduate school nag-office sa Manila.
Okay. Shall we start now? Shall we formally start? Professor Labrador?
8:50, 8:59 po. We can now start.
Yes. So let us compose ourselves for the official start. Nice having a chit-chat with you, sir. I hope this will not be the first and the last.
Yes, sir.
Opo, we will contact you every now and then, sir, for collaboration and for benchmarking siguro, no? Especially on research.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Professor Alcaide, we can start the program now. Thank you.
Sir. So to our Vice President for Academic Affairs, Mrs. Flor de Lisa Orde Guzman, to our Vice President for Research and Development, Mr. Romualdo Rabonza, to our College Dean, Dr. Danilo H. Cabalu, to the members of Scientific Committee, to our keynote speaker, Dr. Farlan Mobo, to our research presenters, to my fellow faculty members and staff of SBCA, to our students and those who are with us today, a blessed morning. We are truly blessed to conduct today the first annual research forum of SBCA with a theme, Setting the Culture of Academic Research Across Discipline. Before we begin, I am Roberta Alcaide. I will be your master of ceremonies this morning. I feel the excitement in this forum where we will witness the presentations of research in the different disciplines. Before we proceed to our program proper, we will have our program preliminaries such as the doxology to be followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem and SBCA College. Everyone is encouraged to participate.
Do you see these children on the streets? Have you walked the pavements where they sleep? Do you feel their hands when you give them arms? Did you ever give them bread to eat? Have you seen their homes washed by the floods, while a mother tightly holds her child? Do you hear the wind of the raging storm? Can you tell them where it's coming from? Let us show our love and mercy with true kindness and humility. For God loves the weak and the needy, just like you and me. We are all God's children. We are all the same. He's calling us by name to help the poor and lame, and learn what life is really for. It's to know and love and serve the Lord. Stand together and let's do our part. Hear their voices, mend their broken hearts. Choose to be brave, fight for their rights, give them back their honor and their pride. Please do not be blind and just leave them behind to struggle in darkness or give them empty promises. We are all God's children. We are all the same. He's calling us by name to help the poor and lame, and learn what life is really for. It's to know and love and serve the Lord. It's to know and love and serve the Lord. It's to know and love and serve the
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Saint Bernadette, empty our hearts of faith, and let the good and heavy one graduate like radiance of the morning star. We'll change the world by our skills and with our social ills. Reach out between the rich and poor and ease the pains of all. We'll give you countless glory and fame, guided by your name. We'll reach others with love forward, nations far free and God.
Once again, good morning po sa ating lahat. Truly, this event is our way of serving the Lord as our opening prayer said. Aside from that, this first annual Research Institutional Forum of SBCA is also in line with CHED Memorandum Order Number 52, Series of 2016, which is known as Pathways to Equity, Relevance, and Advancement in Research, Innovation, and Extension in Philippine Higher Education. This CHED memo articulates the strategic threats and pathways that can visibly address the dynamics and challenges faced by higher education institutions to fully actualize its potentials. And we can say that having this forum is really part of SBCA's innovation. And to formally welcome us all in today's event, may I call in Mrs. Flor Delisa Ardi Guzman, our hardworking Vice President for Academic Affairs.
Hello. Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
Ambassador Dr. Fräulein D. Mobo, our keynote speaker, our Board of Trustees, Dean Dr. Cabalu, the members of the Scientific Committee, program chairs and professors, research presenters, moderators, and organizers of this milestone undertaking of the College Department. A wonderful morning to all of you. Indeed, the seed of today's project has started with wonder. It all started with a dream raised in an exchange of thoughts, and yes, just with that, the dream has finally come to a realization. I am truly overjoyed by the efforts made by the college department headed by our beloved Dean Cabalu, with the generous professors, in putting together this milestone for St. Bernadette College of Alabang, which I certainly believe will make a huge scholarly impact in the lives of the students, the institution, and the community. This forum will definitely not just be a trade of ideas and best practices, but will also serve as a mark that we are all moving forward and will be better in spite of the hindrances caused by the current global health crisis. We still exist, and we are here to continuously search for the truth and be thirsty for knowledge to better our systems, to better our ways of life, and to guide our decision making. Through research, we can celebrate our opportunities, identify the challenges, and discover our way forward. Let us keep in mind that doing research is being generous to the world because you get to share your personal resources to create something better for the community. This is an act of being responsible and empowered members of the society, an act of a Bernadette. We are inherently resilient, and we do not just survive, we must thrive to make our world a better place. I commend the organizers of this online event. Maraming salamat. Thank you once again, College Department, for seeding the culture of research. I wish you more power and congratulations to all. Welcome.
Thank you very much, BPAA, for such a very inspiring and encouraging welcome remarks. So just your presence is already an inspiration to us, and that was intensified by your welcome remarks. So once again, thank you for that. Okay, so to give us more encouragement to participate in today's event, may I call in our ever-committed College Dean, Dr. Danilo H. Cabalu, for his greetings.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, fellow scholars. Today's event is not only a milestone, but I'm telling you, surely it will create an impact, as what the VPAA mentioned, not only to our students, but also to the community, to the faculty members, and the whole Bernadette. Ladies and gentlemen, let us appreciate the beauty of research as we all listen to all the presentation for this morning. I would like to acknowledge for this morning the presence of the following distinguished members of the audience. Dr. Ed Cabalu from the University of Bolton, Greater Manchester, England. Professor Araceli Corosuya, the Dean of the College of Education from Quezon City University. Dr. Evelyn Sadzad from Texas, USA. Dr. Richmond Charles Biray from the City College of San Jose del Monte. Dean Apollo Mambiar from the University of Makati, and Principal Lisa Mambiar. Good morning and thank you.
Thank you very much, Dean Cabalu, for your greetings. So your presence also is an inspiration to all of us. Okay, so we all know that research gives us innovations and development. In today's forum, we will discover new perspectives and innovative ways that will help us overcome the challenges in our own field or discipline. This will be made possible later by our keynote speaker. And to introduce our keynote speaker, may I call in Dr. Aris Ignacio, the Program Chair of SBCA's IT Department and Chair of Scientific Committee.
Hello and good morning to each and everyone. Thank you. Okay, hello and good morning to each and everyone. I have the privilege of introducing our distinguished keynote speaker for today. So our speaker is a graduate of Doctor in Public Administration from the Urdaneta City University class of 2016. He is currently finishing his second doctorate degree, leading to PhD in Development Education at the Central Luzon State University, Nueva Ecija, Philippines. After obtaining his doctorate degree, he was promoted and designated to the position of Assistant Director and Associate Professor 2 at the Department of Research and Development in Philippine Merchant Marine Academy, or PMMA, and this gave him an opportunity to work with different international research institutions such as Regional Director and PhD Lecturer in CEL Academic Malaysia, Lecturer in the Graduate School Colombian College, Olongapo City, and Pan Pacific University Executive Program. He was also appointed as the Editor-in-Chief in the International Journal of Multidisciplinary Applied Business and Education Research in Malang, Indonesia. As a researcher by heart, he is the external peer reviewer in various international research journals and has been invited as keynote resource speaker in various international conferences abroad and international universities around the globe. In 2019, he was awarded as an outstanding alumnus in the Graduate School of Urdaneta City University, Pangasinan, and as a multi-awarded international researcher at CRESE. Recently, he was appointed as Ambassador at Large, Country Ambassador, and Director for the International Human Rights Movement Philippines. At present, he is elected as the National President of Samahan ng mga Manunulat ng Pilipino and was able to publish 59 research articles with 14 citations indexed in Google Scholar, Scopus, ISI, and Crossref. He also published 11 international books in Europe, Indonesia, and India. With all pride and honor, our keynote speaker for St. Bernadette College of Alabang's first institutional research forum, ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Ambassador Dr. Froilan B. Mobo.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, sir. So, good morning, everyone. Thank you for that wonderful. So, I was given the task to deliver my speech for today. So, good morning again. So, during the pandemic crisis, a lot of educators and scholars felt devastated because they think they cannot continue with their academic scholarly work. So the good thing with the research publication and submission continues to grow eventually because of this leads to researchers and scholars to write on topics related to COVID-19. A lot of researchers and scholars open its doors in research and development during the pandemic. So it's just a pandemic that we are facing right now. Wait, answer. Sorry for the technical problem. So a lot of researchers and scholars opened stores in research and development during the pandemic. So it's just a pandemic we are facing right now, and we need to think of and innovate a new strategy in order to survive in this battlefield. So during the lockdown, they presented some significant challenges for researchers. It also gave them some significant opportunities for researchers. So the first involves asking just how resilient organizational cultures actually are. So a group of scholars like Institute of Economic Development and Social Researchers and institutional research group facilitate this call for paper globally by using an alternative mode of presentation. Also, journal publications paid the article processing fee to give way to those scholars or writers who are greatly affected with the pandemic situation. Setting aside the future of universities, COVID has posed more immediate challenges for research colleagues around the world. So researchers have quickly reoriented their studies to meet public needs. So the implementation for this new research culture using technological-based platform like ResearchGate and Google Scholar, boosting motions of scholars and writers to continue with their endeavor and come up with a good publishable paper that is globally readable and can be cited as many as the researchers have read it. Other publication company offers a free publication, and even researcher conferences are also being offered for free. And generally, researchers see the way what scientists and scholars have cooperated is a huge positive in the pandemic situation, because they could not have been developed so quickly as this what happened right now. So, but a lot of scientists welcome the way the pandemic has already changed the way the community by transitioning a complete new culture of doing research and development. A researcher by heart, I will promote and introduce the new methods of conducting research like qualitative, quantitative, and mixed method research designed locally or globally. So since the beginning of lockdown, research institutions has recorded an explosive growth of data during the COVID-19 pandemic, which resulted to more than 19,250 publications. It has data 250 data sets, 16 grants, and even other clinical trials related to research. So this have fed into more 200 policy documents. And then finally, there's a big opportunity in research and development in this time of pandemic. So stay at home and do collaborative research that can be cited and publishable in a reputable journal, which can be indexed in Directory of Open Access Journal, Doge, Web of Science, Science Index, Citation Index, and other high impact factor for indexing databases. So that would be all. Thank you and good day.
Okay, thank you so much, Ambassador Dr. Mogo. Let us give him a round of applause for setting the tone of our forum, for sharing his expertise and experience in the field of research. So once again, thank you, sir. And to show our appreciation and thanksgiving to our keynote speaker, we will have the awarding of the Humble Day Spirit Certificate of Appreciation. At this juncture, may I call in Mrs. Flordelisa de Guzman, our DPAA, Mr. Romualdo Rabonza, our Vice President for Research and Development, and our College Dean, Dr. Danilo Cabalu, to award the certificate to our keynote speaker.
Thank you very much again, Dr. Mobo. And indeed, in the light of the current situation of ours, the pandemic, indeed, there was a doubt if it could still deliver research. But here we are doing it so. So at this very juncture, ladies and gentlemen, please join me as we award the Humble Thy Spirit Certificate of Recognition to our Honorable Ambassador Keynote Speaker for this morning. May I request the VPAA and also the chair of the scientific committee, Dr. Aris Ignacio, to join me as I read the citation of the certificate of recognition. The Board of Trustees of St. Bernadette College of Alabang awards this Humble Thy Spirit Certificate of Recognition to Ambassador Dr. Royland D. Mobo for being the excellent keynote speaker during the first annual Institutional Research Forum of this college, given the 17th day of July, year 2021 at St. Bernadette College of Alabang. Signed, Felicita Sierra Bonsa, EDD, College President and Chair of the Board of Trustees. This is with reference number 071-731-002, the second person, honorable person to receive such distinction. The first was our speakerless commencement exercise. For today, let the Ambassador Dr. Royland D. Mobo receive the certificate of recognition.
Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful award.
Thank you very much again, Dr. Mobo. Thank you very much, Madam VPA, for joining me. Thank you very much, Dr. Aris Ignacio. Thank you.
Thank
We
you,
shall now
Dr.
continue with the program.
Thank you very much, Dean. And once again, thank you to our keynote speaker, Ambassador Dr. Frylan Mo. So, excited na po ba tayo to witness the presentation today of our fellow faculty members and students in their own discipline. So, conducting research, especially in the new normal situation, is truly challenging, but our presenters were able to make it. So at this point, may I call in Dr. Evelyn Chavez, SBCA's faculty member from the College of Education, to present to us the mechanics for presentation. Okay. Let us give her a round of applause.
To our keynote speaker, Dr. Froilan D. Mobo, Vice President for Academic Affairs, Ms. Maria Flor de Lisa Rabonsa de Guzman, Vice President for Research and Development, Mr. Romualdo Rabonsa, College Dean, Dr. Danilo H. Cabalu, members of the Scientific Committee, Dr. Ronnie Pasigi, Dr. Francesca A. Pagkalinawan, Dr. Isagani Nazareno, Dr. Aris Ignacio, research presenters, participants, guests, best morning. Truly, we are privileged to witness this research forum across discipline. But let me give you first a friendly reminder, since this is an academic and scholarly endeavor, all participants are enjoined to practice proper decorum at all times. Okay, at this point, may I request all presenters to please listen as I read the mechanics of the presentation. Okay, first, the research presentation shall be for a maximum of 15 minutes and 5 minutes for 3 questions in case there is. Second, the participants to the forum may address the researcher maximum of 3 questions after the presentation. The moderator shall recognize the one who will ask question. Participants are entitled to ask 1 question only unless there is a need for follow-up. Third, the academic advisors, the chair, co-chair, and members of the scientific committee may help in the explanation in case there is a need to during question and inquiry proper. Fourth, as a courtesy, anyone who shall ask questions shall introduce himself, mention his or her designation and institution being represented. Fifth, all other questions after 3 questions may be emailed to the presenter for the answers. Sixth, the moderator shall signal the presenter to start and stop the presentation according to the time allotment. A bell shall be rung by the moderator once and twice for the last 5 and 2 minutes respectively of the 15-minute presentation. Seventh, all other matters shall be addressed to the moderator. 8, virtual raising of hand is to be used when one needs to ask questions. Last but not least, all are requested to put their gadgets devices into mute mode when presentation begins. It is hoped that the mechanics is clear and understood by all the presenters. Thank you. I will now turn you over to the master of the ceremony, Ma'am Heriberta Alcaide.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Chavez. So for the presentation of the mechanics. So in today's forum, faculty members and students of SPCA will be our presenters. So before we proceed, let me introduce to you our moderator for today. So our moderator for today is none other than our guidance counselor, Mrs. Annabelle Pelay.
Okay, good morning, ma'am.
Morning po. So we shall now proceed to our research paper presentation. So our first presenters will be coming from the College of Business Administration with the title Students' Ratings Towards Various Factors on Blended Modality Basis for Policy Adaptation Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Prof. Nansel Cabalu, the Program Chair of College of Business Ed and Entrepreneurship, and Prof. Carlo Labrador, a faculty member of College of Business Ed and Entrepreneurship, for their presentation.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, to the distinguished keynote speaker, Ambassador Dr. Froilan, to our BPAA, Mrs. Maria Flor de Lisa de Guzman, to our Vice President for Research and Development, Mr. Romualdo Rabonsa, to our College Dean, Dr. Danilo Cabalu, our members of the Research Scientific Committee, faculty members, and our guests for today. So we are the group number 1 from the College of Business Administration. I am Professor Carlo Labrador from the College of Business Administration. With me today is Professor Nansel Cabalu, our program head in business administration. So we are tasked to present our paper entitled Level of Satisfaction of SBCA Students Towards Blended Learning Modality, Basis for Policy Adoption. For the chapter 1, the problem and its background. Ever since pandemic happened, education has been one of the country's has been working hard to find a solution. Face-to-face encounters are currently not encouraged in order to protect students' health and safety against the virus. So the proponents of this research, I and Professor Nansel, made this particular research, because of the transition of our new normal education from the traditional face-to-face into blended learning modality. When we say blended learning modality, it is the combination of the online learning and face-to-face classes. So for the background of our study, as part of the SBCA learning modality, okay, as part of our flexible learning continuity plan, self-made questionnaires are being floated for all students in SBCA. It was endorsed to all year level, to all students in SBCA, in order to get the level of satisfaction in our synchronous and asynchronous policy adaptation regarding the blended learning modality. So the gathering of data, our findings, the conclusion, and recommendation will be the one to be used by school administrators for policy adoption. For our theoretical framework, we were very particular for the theory of hierarchy of needs by Abraham Maslow. This theory explains that the most basic need of a human being is, of course, for physical survival. That is the physiological need. Like, for example, the needs of water, the needs of shelter. It is the first thing that motivates our behavior. Once these needs are being satisfied, the next hierarchy in needs will be the next that motivates us, until we meet the number 5, which is the self-actualization need. In our research also, we use the Philip Kotler theory of customer satisfaction. Philip Kotler defines customer satisfaction as a person's feeling of pleasure or disappointment. So that this theory discusses about it is the perceived performance of particular product versus the customer expectation, meaning to say customers' expectations are being met when the perceived performance and the customer's expectation are being also met. Theory of customer. So this is our statement of the problem. In our research, we created 4 statements of the problem: SOP1, SOP2, SOP3, and SOP4. SOP1, what is the profile of respondent in terms of 4 sub-indicators? Program enroll. So this means ito yung mga courses, these are the courses in SBCA. As just like what I'm told you recently, it was being floated to all students in SBCA, all year level, and all nature of enrollment. When we are talking about nature of enrollment, it is the regular or not regular, no? The tutorial classes. Year level from first year to fourth year, including the cross enrollees, the gadget use, mobile, laptop, desktop, and other devices that is being used by the students. Number two, what is the level of satisfaction of the respondents towards synchronous teaching and asynchronous teaching? So here, we measure the level of satisfaction of the students based on the different sub-indicators. So later on, we will present those sub-indicators, no, in our questionnaires regarding the synchronous teaching and asynchronous teaching. So are they satisfied or not satisfied? So let's find out in our findings later. Number three, what is the significance between the level of satisfaction? So we get here our hypothesis, no? What is the significance between the level of satisfaction of the respondents and their profile when grouped accordingly? Meaning to say, let us find out here if there is relevance or there is association between the profile information that we get from the number one and the information and the findings that we get from the SOP number two. Is there any relevance? Is there any association? So that is the number three. And number four, in the event of the findings, what college policy may be adopted? So it talks about our recommendations based on our findings and conclusions. Our hypothesis. So our hypothesis here is there is no significance. So that is our assumption. There is no significance between the level of coping of the respondents, that is from the level number two, the SOP number two, the level of satisfaction of the students via synchronous and asynchronous learning, and their profiling information. Ito yung mga the nature of the enrollment, the year level, okay, yung four sub-indicators regarding the profile of the student. Is there any correlation? In our hypothesis, we said there is no significance. Next is significance of the study. So of course, this is very important because this is very timely and this is relevant nowadays as the SBCA will continue to implement blended learning modality in the next school year, 2021-2022. So for the school administrator, of course, regarding the recommendation, the finding, it will help us to evaluate that as the school administrators, no, that it will help us to evaluate regarding our policy adaptation. So dito magmumula po yung aming mga policies and implementation regarding the implementation of the synchronous and asynchronous learning. In the part of the teachers, of course, it will help us in any recommendation na bibigay po namin. It will help us to be, the teachers will help us to become efficient and effectively delivering the blended learning modality, the things that you should do, things that you should improve as a teacher or as a professor. In the part of the student, of course, it will help them to adjust and cope up to different learning challenges in the implementation of the blended learning modality. So this is
Sir
very
Carlo, excuse me. So
yes,
let us proceed for our question and answer because we have already met our time allotted.
Okay po. Sige po.
So thank you, Sir Carlo.
Madam Moderator, may we request that we will proceed first with the findings. Before.
Okay, sir.
Okay, for the chapter 4 and chapter 5, the findings, the summary, and the conclusion and recommendation, it will be presented to you by Professor Mencel. Professor Mencel, please.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I know I should be quick on here. Sir Carlo, can you please share your screen, please?
The chapter 4 po, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Parang
Thank you.
tayo po.
Okay, I'll do that.
Chapter 5.
Okay, chapter 5. Thank you.
Chapter 5.
Okay. Sorry, I know, as I've said, I know I have to be quick here. Profile of the students according to the program enrolled, we have 33.7% came from the college college department or college of education, wherein 22.1% from business administration, 16.3% came from College of Hospitality Management, and 14.4% from the College of Information Technology, while the remaining 13.5% came from the different departments, which compose of Department of Midwifery, Psychology, Certificate in Teacher Program, Entrepreneurship, and Certificate in Preschool Education. For the number according to the gadget use, 73%, which is majority of our students are using mobile phones. Only 11% of them are using laptops or desktop, and 10% are using both gadget, referring to mobile phone, laptops, and desktop. 1% is using tablet, and only 3.8% are using all of the above gadgets. Okay, according to year level, majority of our respondents came from first year students, which is 33.7%, and 26.9% from the second year students, 21.2% belonging to third year, 16.3% are fourth year students, and 1.9% are those what we call irregular or others, which includes our tutorials, our irregular students, and those cross-enrollee that we have. The nature of enrollment, regular students, and 92% of them are regular students. 8% of them are non-regular, which we can always check it from our registrar's office that it says the same. Okay, level of satisfaction. For this time, we use 3 categories, which first is the ability of the professor to maximize the learning via synchronous activity, which posted the highest weighted mean, which is 3.30 with the verbal interpretation of satisfied, and SBCA implementation of at least 1 hour synchronous learning, which posted 3.21 weighted mean, and the lowest is the least indicator that has been posted is the SBCA implementation of synchronous activities, which has a verbal interpretation of satisfied. All in all, for the synchronous model, we have an average weighted mean of 3.17 with verbal interpretation of satisfied. For the case of asynchronous learning model, again, I have to emphasize this, that category has been posted from the ability of the professors to maximize learning by asynchronous learning. The middle one is the nature of asynchronous activities to facilitate learning, which posted 3.14 weighted mean, and the last is the asynchronous activities to facilitate learning via modules and activity sheets. Overall, for this synchronous model, it has an average weighted mean of 3.2 with verbal interpretation of satisfied. To answer our statement of the problem number 3, is there a significant difference on the level of satisfaction of respondents? Based on our study, I could say that for synchronous model, there is a significant difference between the gadget use and the level of satisfaction towards the policy of SBCA to have at least 1 hour of synchronous learning, as well as there is significant difference between the nature of enrollment and the satisfaction level towards the policy of SBCA in having activities for synchronous learning. Asynchronous learning model, it shows that there is also a significant difference between gadget use and the nature of asynchronous learning, synchronous activities, and as well as the gadgets used between the satisfaction level towards the policy of SBCA in having activities by a module and activity sheet for asynchronous learning. Okay. Drawing from those findings, we are recommending humbly recommending these items for number one, for the students. We are humbly recommending that there should be a proper orientation of different ways on how to submit performance tasks. For our faculty members, we are also recommending have one deadline of submission for each grading period for all the activities or all the requirements, meaning the students will be informed that all of these activities, all of these requirements should be submitted on or before a certain date within that grading period. Distribution of course syllabi ahead of time with corresponding activities and date of submission. And of course, periodic training and retooling for faculty for the preparation of video lectures. This is in the case that students are not able to attend certain class due to due to poor connection, due to not able to connect using their gadgets. And for the administration, again, we are humbly recommending access to library for our students by appointment only, following the protocol of IATF for access to computers, books, and internet. Okay, thank you so much for having time to listen to our presentation. We do apologize that we have to extend our time. We didn't realize it will be this long. So thank you, everyone. And we are now open for your questions, suggestions, and of course, recommendation. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.
So thank you, Ma'am Mensel and Sir Carlo. Please be ready to answer the questions from the participants. We are implementing 3 questions only, so please raise your virtual hand if you would like to ask a question. Question from the participants, from the chairman, co-chairs.
Madam Moderator, may I be recognized, please?
Okay, let's have Dr. Cabalu, our chairman, for this presentation, research forum presentation.
And good morning, and yes. Again, good morning, and thank you very much for that very informative presentation. Actually, this is not a question, but just a comment. I've noticed that on both items, synchronous and asynchronous delivery of learning to our learners, the respondents posted the the highest rating or the highest satisfaction rating. Am I correct, researchers? Proponents, please.
Yes, Dean, on both asynchronous and synchronous model, the ability of the professors to deliver the learning activities posted highest weighted mean. Yes, that's right. You are right, Dean.
Okay, yeah, thank you for that information. This is just a comment. I've noticed that even though students posted though it is still a satisfaction verbal interpretation, though it was not that high like that of the ability of the professors to maximize learning both on asynchronous and synchronous. We have our students here. At least our students, should I say, based on the result, at least appreciate the efforts of our faculty members in the delivery of instruction. No? They may not have a higher satisfaction rating on 2 items before the ability to deliver. Am I correct? But yet they posted the highest rating on this. So I am faculty members are really commendable on this now, kasi it means that they really tried and trying their best. So thank you very much, Professor Menzel.
Okay, thank you, Dean. Dean, I saw Professor Lourdes Miranda. She raises her virtual hand. Yes, ma'am, go ahead po.
Hi, magandang umaga, ma'am. Maraming salamat. May question sa research ni Ma'am Menzel at ni Sir Carlo is about the online blended learning, no? And as if it is quite related to the research, my student will present today also in this forum, si Christian Ruedas, is on online classes. So, Ma'am Menzel,
yes, ma'am.
We are aware that this is a very relevant topic, yung online classes, di ba? No?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
it's nice na-tackle nyo yung synchronous and asynchronous. But in our research with the Filipino department, ang ni-research ng mga estudyante ko sa kanilang thesis writing in Filipino sa pananaliksik, yung online classes, kung ready ba ang mga teachers natin at ang mga estudyante sa online classes, no? So, ma'am, ang question ko, I think hindi nyo na-include yan sa inyong thesis, tama ba?
Yes, ma'am, because based on our scope and limitation, we will our respondents are only the level of satisfaction of our students with regards to the synchronous and asynchronous learning. But that criteria that you gave was not included on our research. Yes. Yeah.
Kasi they will, thank you. Kasi they will be presenting also now yung Filipino area sa pananaliksik, sa online classes. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, we do appreciate it that at the moment, really, we do have a lot of studies in the Philippines and abroad that talks about different phases of blended learning, like the gadget use, of course, that you mentioned also, the readiness of student as well as the faculty members. So those are the studies goes along those different criteria. So it will also be helpful also, ma'am, to have that to look at that particular phase, or parang what we call another story about blended learning. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Professor Miranda and Ma'am Menzel. And another question from our co-chairs, Dr. Roddy Pasige. Sir, go ahead.
Thank you, Ma'am Beng. Thank you, and good morning to everybody. Just a point of observation, my dear researchers and fellow scholars. while level of satisfaction, am I audible?
Yes, yes,
Thank you.
Yes, Doctor.
While level of satisfaction, I believe, is a perceptive study, but this is a beginning of your exploration. For a follow-up study, perhaps I would suggest that we will do an assessment of the implementation of SBCA on the blended or flexible learning, based, of course, on the assessments and checklists provided by the Commission on Higher Education and by the DepEd as well, since we cover both basic education and the higher ed, so that to obtain an objective responses based on an objective instrument. I think that for me is more relevant in the context of policy making.
Yes, yes.
Yes, because if we are to base our policy based on the perception of the students, but not anchored from what the CHED nor the DepEd mandates, we might as well go astray with our decision. So best yet if it is anchored from the mandate of the DepEd and the CHED, lalo na dun sa instruments natin. But I commend the beginning, the exploration, the curiosity is there on the part of the scholars, and I know that we are seeding, as mentioned. But the best way is, of course, to seed the best seeding, seedling. So anyway, that's my suggestion for a follow-up study on the assessment of the implementation of SBCA on our flexible learning.
Thank you. Thank you, Doc.
One last, Madam Moderator, could it still be possible? Will the proponents still honor one more?
Okay, sir. Do we still have a question or suggestions?
Mr. Co-Chair, Dr. Pasige. Yes, as I understand, the research was conducted, the data came from a first semester survey. And the second semester, yes, and the second semester survey is coming. Could we not suggest a correlated study perhaps, or how shall we approach another way as far as this?
Yes, Din. My stand is this. Regardless whether you will take the data on the first semester, on second semester, or even next year, that is immaterial. What is more relevant here is to look into the instrument being used, such that the questions, the instrument to be used must be based on the CHED and the DepEd memo and assessment checklist on the implementation of the flexible learning.
Yes, I believe so, no? After this has been done, siguro, and then there will be a comparative study na lang, no? Let's say, like what Dr. Pasige mentioned, let us implement such criteria based on our questioning, and then whatever is the results for the first sem or the second sem and the first sem, next sem, then let us have a comparative study, no, for the progress of the report, siguro. So that we could get a vital results.
Yes, then just an additional, for the DepEd, for example, there are two main variables or sub indicators to be measured here, and that these are the learning modalities, the blended learning modalities used by the institution, and then the other one is, of course, on the availability of the learning resources, the flexible learning resources. So the assessment is based on those two main factors, the modality of instruction and the learning resources.
Thank you, Dr. Ron. All are noted. Thank you.
You're welcome,
yes.
Professor Mentel.
No other question, Madam Moderator. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So as we mentioned, we are only limiting our question to 3 items. So for any questions, you may send it to an email to our presenter. So let's move on with our second presenter from the College of Business Administration, a BSBA marketing student and a member of the Sangguniang Pambayan ng Concepcion Tarlac. Let's all welcome Mr. Regido Dizon. Sir, you may start now.
Hi, good morning po.
Sir, your time starts now.
I'm Ray Davison, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Marketing Management. And I'm proud to say I'm a student of St. Bernadette of College of Alabang, and formerly I'm employee of Century Cannon of Corporation in 13 years. And I'm a former barangay captain in our barangay, and incumbent Sangguniang Bayan o Municipal Councilor. Thank you and good morning. My title of research is Level of Job Satisfaction Selected LGU Employee of Concepcion Tarlac Basis for Human Resource Program Implementation. This is a proposal, ma'am. Next slide po. Next slide po. Background of study. This research shall focus on a level of satisfaction of selected employee of the Municipality of Concepcion, Province of Tarlac, for the Human Resource Division of same LGU initiate program that the benefits of employee. Next slide po. Aside from the fact that the researcher is a student of business administration at this college of researcher was prompt to pursue this study for this genuine intention to serve as constituent by better service of LGU employee to the general public of Concepcion Tarlac is this a capacity incumbent member of Sangguniang Bayan and praying for higher position for coming election. Bakit po ito ang napili ko? Po, ito po ay taga rito po ako at incumbent po ako ng Sangguniang Bayan at Municipal Councilor ng Concepcion. Dahil ito po ay nakikita ko po kung ano nangyayari sa loob ng LGU. So next slide po. Theoretical framework. This study incurred in two main theories discussed the follows. First theory is called job characteristic theory of Richard Ackman. And second is another theory use of this study is the famous Maslow theory and next slide po. Statement of the program. Ito po yung mga theory na sasagutin ng research sa susunod po. States of the program. What is the profile of a respondent of term? 1. Number of year working. 2. Nature of employment. 3. Salary grade. And next slide po. And state of the problem 2. What is the level of satisfaction of the selected respondent in the term of 1. Work relation among fellows, employee and superior. 2. Stability and career development. 3. Material and health security workplace. And 3. Statement of the problem 3. What is the difference between the level of satisfaction of the respondent and their problem when a group accordingly? And last, statement of the program. In the event of the pending what HR program may be adopted. Next slide. Okay po. Scope of the delimitation. Okay. In terms of the study
was conducted Concepcion Tarlac during the period of May to July to 2021. The study of criteria used to measure satisfaction are limited to 1. Work relation among fellow employee and other superior. 2. Stability and career development. And material health security. Ito po ay pangangailangan ng mga employee. Next slide po. Ito po ay a review of the related literature. Sa kasalukuyan po ay patuloy ko pong nagbabasa ng research between po ng government at ng private company. Iba po ang private at saka public eh. Kasi ang public po sa public o sa LG po ay minsan sa politika po ang career base nila eh. So sa private company po kasi sila po ay doon sa galing kung saan sino kinukuha ang promotion. Dito po kasi kapag sino po ang papasok ng mayor o recommendation ng mga doon po pumapasok ang promotion at saka ang galing ng empleyado. So next slide po. Hindi ko na po babasahin lahat ito. Mahaba po. Baka maubos po ako ng oras. Research methodology of procedure. Research design. This researcher will use the scripted research design. Accordingly, the scripted research is defined as a type of research that describe a population situation or phenomenon that is being studied and focuses on answering the how, what, when, and where question, gathering of data, usually through the use of a questionnaires. Data gathered shall be treated statistically, analyzed, and interpreted to come up with. Next slide po. Research local. Ang conception po ay matatagpuan po sa Region 3 at probinsya po ng Tarlac. Ang conception po is first class municipality ng bayan ng Tarlac at pinakapangalawa po sa malaking bayan ng Concepcion is 45 barangay at malapit po kami sa Pampanga, malapit sa Green City at ang produkto po ng Concepcion ay agrikultura. Ang agrikultura po namin ay rice at mais, corn at ang delicacies po namin ay ang tosino, longganisa, mani at cornic po. Kung makakapasyal po sa amin, makapapadaan po kayo. Welcome po kayo sa bayan ng Pulo ng Concepcion at pwede nyo po akong tawagan para i-tour po kayo dito sa bayan ng Concepcion. Next slide po. Population, a simple size and simpling technique description of a respondent. Department, ito lang po ang ilinagay namin kung sakasakali madagdagan po through advice po ng aking advisor. Ito lang po ang ilinagay ko. RHU, ang number of respondent, 3. MDRRMO, 5 po. Number of respondent, 5. Civil register, ang number of respondent, 2 po. Assessor's office, ang respondent ay 2. Municipal treasury, 2 po. All in all, the respondent is 14. Next slide po. Research instrument. Research instrument in the self-made validated questionnaire, it was validated by 5 uninterested individual with the concurrence of the research as the following part. Part 1, profile of a respondent, number of item 3. Number 2, indicator of job satisfaction with 3 indicator, each one of 5 sa sub indicator 15. All in all po sa item is 18. So maraming salamat po. At ito po ang aking pagtatapos sa aking presentation. Salamat po at isa po akong karangalan na isa akong estudyante na mapasama po sa research na to. Iba po wala pa ang pressure kahit marami po akong nakaharap na tao na matataas. Iba po pala ang pressure ka. Kung ang mga teacher mo yung mga doktor kaya ako po yung na-pressure ng konti. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Sir Dison. So, participants, you may raise your hands for any questions or suggestions, recommendation.
Dr. Pasige, please.
Pagtanong ako talaga.
No,
Other members of the scientific committee, please, your observation on the proposal of the Honorable Dizon.
Madam Moderator, I guess there is no question. Shall we proceed?
Yes, sir. So thank you, Mr. Dison. Thank you, Chairman. So let's move on to the College of Education. To start with, may I call on Dr. Ronnie Pasige, BPAA, Mary the Queen College of Quezon City, and one of our best faculty members, and our college dean, Dr. Danilo H. Cabalu. Gentlemen, you may start your presentation now.
Meron talagang best. Oo. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Oo. I hope the technical people will pin us when we are speaking. Thank you very much to our to the presenter a while ago. Bakit hindi mawala yung aking raising of hand? How it could be.
Same with Dr. Pasigi, sir.
Sorry. Hindi siya naka-click. Should be lower hand. Click icon mo, reaction doc dan, then lower hand.
Ayun. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir, you may start your presentation now. The time starts now.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. May I request the technical to please share our slides? Okay. So our research for this morning, I hope Dr. Pasige will help me a lot on this.
Hindi kaya mo yan. Ako lang taga-slide.
The literary analysis of women characters in results Noli Me Tangere. Next slide, please. This is the letter of Rizal to the women of Malolos. When I wrote Noli Me Tangere, I asked myself, this is for myself, whether bravery was a common thing in the young women of our people. I brought back to my recollection and reviewed those I had known since my infancy, but there were only few who seems to come up to my ideas. So Rizal here, as a sort of the background introduction, Rizal here is looking for the bravery among our women. Do we have bravery among the women during that time? Next slide. This is the dialogue taken from the women of Sparta from the film. As you know, to give you a background on the Spartan women, the Spartan women are the most, should I say, brave women on earth. No, based on some readings, it was mentioned that when Sparta will go to war, the women or the mothers will hand the sword and the sword and the spear to the sons, and then they will encourage the sons to go into battle and defend Sparta. So that is how brave these women are. But we have a very romantic and beautiful words as far as the film and the dialogue is concerned. All women, only your Spartans have power over men. So imagine that. No? In what way they have power over men? Only women give birth to men, of course. And men were born not only to live his life, but also for his country. Because Spartan women think that it is the duty of every man to defend the country. Next slide. For this particular research, let me continue. What is literary analysis? So this is a literary analysis. It is a careful examination of the text or one element of the text, such as character, setting, plot, theme. For this particular paper, we will focus our study on the characters and characterization. Character is the person, characterization is what is the role of the person as far as the text or the plot of the text is concerned. Next slide, please. Also, what text and whose text to be analyzed? Introduction. Dr. Pasige will help me on this. Dr. Ron?
Ako talaga. Well, anyway, as mentioned earlier, that the literary analysis shall be focused only on women characters, specifically on Rizal's novel, Noli Me Tangere. Originally, the paper was intended to deal with all the women characters, both on Noli and Enelpili, but due to time constraint, the presenters, Dr. Den, have decided to focus only on 3 women characters in the Noli Me Tangere. And to help us doing next slide, please. To help us do our textual and literary analysis, the researchers, the presenters, use the following or anchored in the following theories, no, of analysis. Previous slide, please. Previous slide, please. Theories. So one of the theories, or one of the approaches used here in analysis, is the historical critical. So it is not the usual historical that it has to be purely documented. It has to be purely based on historical text, but it has to be a critical interpretation. Meaning to say, the interpretation should be taken from the previous context and then do a reinterpretation in the present context. That is the historical critical approach. The phenomenological hermeneutics, phenomenology, is the study of lived experience. So we will study the women character and characterization in Rizal's Noli and how are they applied in today's context. The hermeneutics is the philosophy of interpretation. So of course, we have to decode the hidden messages or the hidden text in the text concerned here, which is the Noli Me Tangere. And of course, anchoring it also with the gender theory, specifically the feminism. And that is why the analysis on character and characterization was focused solely on the female characters, as feminism is one of the most relevant themes and topics, not only in literature, but also across disciplines. Doc Dan?
Next slide, please. May I request for the next slide? This paper utilizes, yeah. Okay, now, for this study, we will study the 4 women characters, namely Maria Clara. The other one is Sisa. The third one is Salome. Doña Victorina, and the fourth one is Salome. Let me discuss. What are the feministic character of this woman, Maria Clara? Beautiful. As you know, this is a literary analysis. So we read the whole text before we could deduce the following. And who said he is beautiful? She is beautiful. Of course, it is from the text. It was uttered twice by Salome, and it was uttered thrice also by Ibarra. After a certain chapter, which is chapter 6, Salawa, there was a dialogue. Ang continuation ng novel is Kabanatang X, which is ang nawawalang kabanata ng No Limitang Hirap. This is the dialogue between Elias and Salome. Elias said to Salome, narito na ako. And then Salome mentioned, saan ka nanggaling, kaibigan ko? At sinabi nga ni Elias mentioned where he came from. And the one instance when it was mentioned that he's beautiful, sabi niya, I was with Maria Clara. Ang sagot ni Salome, she is beautiful. The beauty in it was described so many times now, not only beautiful outside, but also beautiful inside. Why kind-hearted? She was kind-hearted. That was dramatized so many times in the text itself. One instance was when Maria Clara gifted the leper with the locket that was given to her by her father in one important occasion. So the essential characteristics of Maria Clara are, according to feminism theory, beautiful, kind-hearted, and the last one, it was that encoded chaste. Okay, chaste. Because we thought that Maria Clara was unfaithful to the lover, Ibarra, but at the end, she revealed what is the real cause, why she is separating from Ibarra. Okay. Next slide is Caesar. Day in, day out, there is no other wish or intention from this woman but to serve her family. Day in and day out, she is praying for the good of her sons, Basilio and Crispin, and to serve the husband that she has. Therefore, we could conclude that Caesar is a loving mother with a strong determination to fulfill the essence of being a woman as far as feminism characteristic is concerned. Next slide, please. Doña Victorina. Doña Victorina is a paragon of colonial mentality, but mind you, she is the only character in No Limitang Hirap that makes a full-blooded Spanish in the person of Dr. Espadanya to bow on what she wants. The husband, who is an illegitimate doctor, was discovered that he is not a doctor after all. But Doña Victorina wants to become a Española. Therefore, a full-blooded Filipino married Dr. de Espadanya, so that his name shall be affixed to her. In doing so, she was called Doña Victorina de los Reyes de Espadanya, de Espadanya. Under this consideration, Dr. de Espadanya, because he is not a true doctor, was imprisoned, but later on, nakalabas. And he doesn't want to cure sick anymore because he is not a doctor. But Doña Victorina said, no, you will just affix your name, doctor, so that I will be doctora, but do not cure sick anymore. And the fake doctor has no choice but to adhere. Mind you, Doña Victorina is a full-blooded Filipino, yet he made a full-blooded Spanish man to bow on her. A paragon of colonial mentality, yet a very strong-willed person. Next. Salome is a woman of dignity. How many women of today do practice the dignity of being a woman? The dignity above poverty and everything. In Kabanata X, which features Salome, it was mentioned that Salome will about to leave her place. Sabi niya, ako'y aalis na dito at ako'y maninirahan na sa Mindoro. Pinapataba ko ng aking mga alagang pabo at mga manok upang maibenta. Bakit? So that all what he could earn from these animals shall be used to pay her debts. At ang nagkautang ay ang mga parents niya. Yet with full of dignity, she wants to honor everything that her parents own. So there is dignity above poverty. She lives a life full of promise, alone, emancipated, not depending on man to exist. See? Next. So this is the findings, Dr. Ron.
Okay, so based on those analysis presented by Dr. Dan, of course, due to time constraint, but Dr. Dan would like to share with you and quote with you in toto those lines taken from the different texts, from the letters of Rizal and the rest, to support the claims of being chaste, of being a dignified woman. To sum it up, these women characters of Rizal in No Limitang Here are not weak nor dependent on men on their existence, as exemplified, for example, in the case of Doña Victorina. Rather, these women possess strong characters comparable not only to the women of Europe in the Spanish colonial period. They are not dependent on men, as mentioned, for their existence, but partners of men to achieve balanced coexistence in the society that is basically dominated by men during Rizal's time. Further, next slide, please. The concept, no? So in summary, so to synthesize things, so after knowing these characters of women, Sisa, Maria Clara, Salome, Doña Victorina, but these were the women during Rizal's time. Now, how do we look at the women today, at the Filipino women today? So there is a need to redefine the Filipino woman today. So the concept of a contemporary Filipino womanhood is threatened by the effects of the Spanish colonialization, especially under the dictum of faith, meaning that the women during colonial time were under the so-called hierarchy of servitude, that woman served the husband, that woman served the church. So they were considered as slaves. They were considered as a woman of servitude. So that is the basic concept, and that is the basic barrier, in reimagining and redefining the woman of today. Next slide, please.
Sir Ron?
Yes.
Your time was already
Yes.
enough.
Okay. So just 2 slides, please. Results, women characters. It's time to redesign the concept of Filipino woman, not just a woman of servitude, but woman living in different spaces with different opportunities. Filipino women should be seen today of higher autonomy to seek individual and collective pursuits. Next slide, please. Filipino women should be seen as empowered one. Such power should be construed as transformative power, not just the power to resist the male dominance, but the power to influence their networks and surroundings. They realize that they are vehicles of power who could transform the society. And lastly, okay, the contemporary Filipina should not be a template of the past. Instead, she needs to redefine herself with the learning of the past and the needs of the present in order for her to assert her right here and right now. That is the way we look at the Filipino woman today. No longer the template of the past, not the servant of woman, but an empowered woman. And that is exemplified in the academy. If you are to do a number check, how many women educators are there in the HEIs? Dr. De Guzman is here as the BPAA. Dr. Sassad is here as one of the highest officers of institution, dominated by women and educational institution. So patunay lamang na
Ay, oo
empowered na
nga.
po ang mga kababaihan sa ngayon, hindi kagaya ng panahon ni Rizal. Thank you.
These were the references used.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Pasig and Dr. Gabalu. So, participants, any questions? Again, we limit only for 3 questions. If you don't have any questions, you may send, or any additional information you want, you may send your queries to our researcher presenter through their email.
Madam Moderator, I think there is a hand.
Yes,
being raised.
I saw Professor Miranda. Yes, ma'am, go ahead po.
First of all, congratulations, Dean and Sir Ron. Ang ganda, no? Paborito ko talaga si Dr. Jose Rizal. Actually, my textbook in the high school, Noli Me Tangere, by Rex Bookstore is in the 5th edition already, no?
Congratulations, ma'am.
Oo, 20 years ng ongoing yan libro ko, sir, sa Rex Bookstore. Sir, Dean and Sir Dr. Ron, I really appreciated what you did in your research, no? Kasi ang focus nyo is more on the character of the ladies, no? Like Maria Clara, yung laket ni Maria Clara na
binigay sa leper?
Binigay sa leproso. At ang
Opo.
leproso naman ay pinambayad kay Basilio kasi nga nagdodoktor si Basilio. Ginamot niya ang leproso. At ito naman ay ibinigay niya, no? Kay si Basilio, ibinigay naman niya sa kanyang kasintahan. Kaya si Huli. Opo. So, napakaganda ng pagsusuring na gawa ninyo, no? So, ang katanungan ko po din, sa lahat ng kababaihang nakapaloob sa Noli Me Tangere, sino po ang bukod tanging masasabi nating katangi-tangi sa lahat ng babaeng Pilipina?
Allow me to answer, Doc Ron.
Yes, Doc Dan, please. That's your specialty.
Agad. Based on my readings, ma'am, and of course, it is Maria Clara. Why? The women of today, or the women even before, they characterize or they tag Maria Clara as weak. But I want to disagree and I want to argue on this to answer the question of Professor Miranda. Why? Look at what he did. Look at what she did. After Habulan sa Lawa, the second to the last chapter, I hope I am correct on that, Ma'am Miranda, Habulan sa Lawa, nung tinakas ni Ibarra, si nung tinakas ni Elias si Crisostome Ibarra sa bangka. Tama po ba?
Yes, Dean.
Yes, opo. Nagdaan siya sa bahay nila Maria Clara. Tumalon siya sa pader. Nakita niya si Maria Clara nag-iisa doon sa azotea. Sabi niya, Maria, in-approach niya. Malaki ang tampo dito ni Crisostome Ibarra. Why? Because Maria Clara is scheduled to be wedded to the choice man of Padre Damaso and Kapitan Tiago. Okay. Lahat dito ng mga masasakit na salita, no, tinanggap ni Maria Clara from Ibarra. And you have also to understand Ibarra on this particular situation, no? Galing siya sa kulungan, walang kasalanan, tinakas siya. So mataas din ang emosyon dito ni Ibarra nung mag-usap sila ni Maria Clara. Okay, kung i-imaginein mo yung scene, no? So, ang sabi niya, ako ay aalis at hindi ko alam kung saan ako pupunta. Ako ay pinaghahanap. Pero ang sabi ni, bakit mo ginawa ito? Ang sabi ni Maria Clara, paano ko kakalimutan ang sumpang ang aking ibinigay sa iyo? Pero makakaya ko ba kayang ipagpalit ang karangalan ng aking tunay na ama at ang malinis na pangalan ng aking ama sa turing? Tinanong siya ni Ibarra, bakit? Anong nangyari? Sino ang tunay mong ama? At lumapit si Maria Clara at ibinulong kay Ibarra kung sino ang tunay niyang ama. Siya ang tunay kong ama. So, Maria Clara here is marrying another person. not because she is unfaithful or not chaste to Ibarra, but this is a great sacrifice on her part. The Filipino people, the Filipino women are alluded to a bamboo as a grass, as a giant grass. You know why? You know why? Kapag humangin daw, the bamboo will just keep on swaying, no? But after the flood, after the strong wind, the bamboo will remain. And notice, all other trees or even bahay kubo sa likod ng bamboo will remain standing. According to some scholars of literatures, they mentioned that the great sacrifice of Maria Clara in marrying another person in order to protect the beautiful name of Kapitan Tiago at ng kanyang tunay na ama, who is Pare Damaso, is a great sacrifice on her part. A beautiful story of a strong person. So, I believe siya ay katangi-tangi at siya ay there is worthy to be emulated and serve as a model of Filipina. Thank you, Professor Miranda. I hope that was answered your question.
Thank you so much, Dean.
Well, I guess there's no more question or no more participants raising their hands. So I guess we move on with our next presenter. So thank you, Doc Ron and Dr. Dan for your presentation. So
may we request, Madam Moderator, may we request that you give signal to the presenter after the first 10 minutes,
okay,
and then the last 2 minutes.
Okay, sir, noted.
Of the 15 minutes. Thank you very much.
Okay, for our next presenter, also from the College of Education with a master's degree in history, may I call on Professor Edsel Basilia. Sir, it's your turn now. You may start po.
Okay. Naririnig po ako?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
thank you. Magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Magandang umaga sa ating mga profesor, sa ating mga guro, sa scientific committee na nag-organisa nito. Isang paraan upang mas mapalawig ang ating kultura ng pananaliksik, no, na makakatulong sa ating mga silid-aralan. So let me start by quoting this sentence. History is both a science and an art. An art because the discipline demands beauty and eloquence as a literary piece. A science because it demands verifiable data and the veracity of facts. The article, The Art in the Service of History, the legacy in Francisco Goya's painting of Junta de la Real Compañía de Filipinas, 1815, is part of the volume 1 of the compilation of papers presented during the International Conference on the centennial of the 1896 Philippine Revolution. The title itself encapsulates the content of the paper, a piece of art in the form of painting being utilized to contextualize a period during this time. Keen readers will distinguish 3 major points in the article. And what are these? This is Francisco Goya, and this is the artist and the art. Okay. There are 3 major contents of this article. No, the artwork as a representation of the evolution of the artist, the value of the artwork in the Spanish history, the value of the artwork in Philippine history. Okay. The artwork has been given the distinction of being one of Francisco Goya's most impressive paintings. This distinction is important given the prolific talent of Goya and his longevity. 2, the author. Actually, yung author is a consultant in a reputable museum in the United States. Kunti lang yung academic information niya available sa internet, no. Chu investigated well the stages of Goya's art, its development and intricacies, which endeared the artist to his audience outside his native country, of course, Spain. Chu noted that Goya's early career has started as a tapestry cartoonist that depicts the calmness of Spanish rural life during the 1770s to the sardonic and macabre disparates, or follies and madness, and pinturas negras, black paintings, of his advanced years during the 1790s. In 1799, Goya developed a new genre called Los Caprichos, or Imaginings and Fantasies, a non-commissioned paintings which Chu described as Goya's commentary on the errant behavior, human behavior, influenced by custom, ignorance, and self-interest. In this premise, the author described the artwork Junta de la Real Compañía de Filipinas as an exceptionally dark painting, mainly because of its deviation from the art norm of the time. Contrary to the norm of the time, Goya painted the individuals in this artwork barely recognizable. Also, there was a drastic enlargement of space in disproportionate diminution of its main figures. Its smothering darkness, the listlessness of the stockholders in their obvious disconnection from the presiding figure, as well as the inclusion of the unexpected figures, that invest the painting, which is startling, sinister cast. As such, the artwork is the culmination of Goya's eclectic personal style as an artist. So ito yung dinidescribe ko kanina, Ayan. So barely recognizable figure, which is not the normal genre of that time. Kasi nung mga period na yan, yung mga paintings niyan impressionist, kitang-kita yung kahit yung mga tagihawat ng subject, The subject of the artwork is the meeting of the board of directors of the Royal Compañía of the Philippines held on March 30, 1815, barely 3 years after the ratification of the Cadiz Constitution. The meeting was called to reorganize and resume business that was disrupted by the Napoleonic War. So involved yung Spain during the war of Napoleon. As mentioned by the author, the meeting was historical because this was the first time that the King of Spain has ever graced such functions. This meeting was also personally important to Goya because he was a stockholder of the bank, that served as conduit to the financial operations of the company. The artwork represents the dichotomies, ironies, and shifting realities of Spanish life and society during a period of unprecedented transition. The meeting represents the political atmosphere of Spain during the period, and this was best portrayed by Goya in this painting. At the center is the Spanish king, Ferdinand VII, the embodiment of an absolute monarch, and by his side is Miguel Lardizabal, the Mexican member of the Regency and the president of the Royal Company, whose liberal economic policies were in bad taste to the king. The subtext of this painting would revolve around the relationship between the king and his administrators in the colonies. During this time, Mexico is still at the hands of the Spanish royals. This concept was better worded by Chu, and to paraphrase her, Goya's Junta de la Real Compañía de Filipinas is fusion of real and imagined, the encapsulation of a changed world, reminding us how elusive the critical balance of realism and idealism. So that's the artistic side, and the Spanish context. Okay. And now what's the context, the Philippine context? The artwork is an allegory of power in that Spain is struggling to adapt to changes. This is a political, economic, and the role of Spain in the world stage, but still clings to the old ways. The junta, as can be deduced from the article, was the embodiment of the hopes of Spain to remain relevant to the steadily shifting balance of power in the colonial landscape of the 18th century. The period of which the painting was commissioned exemplified the struggle of Spain to solidify the control of the Asian trade, where the British, the French, and the Americans were slowly gaining grounds. This can be explained in the light that Manila, being the capital of Spanish dominion in Asia, was to be the ultimate partner of Cadiz, a province in Spain, in an effort to dominate the trade relations between the continents. It was designed to help bring Spain abreast of the economic progress experienced by other European countries. One of its major programs in the development of the resources of the Philippines, of which, if implemented, according to another historian, Viviana, will bring great wealth to the throne. So basically, itong Real Compañía de Filipinas is a last-ditch effort of Spain to actually remain relevant in the world affairs. Because during this time, the United States of America was becoming a superpower. Nandyan pa yung British na halos kalahati ng buong mundo ay sakop niya. And to think na yung Spain and Portugal were the first countries to actually explore and put up colonies throughout the world. So ito yung kalagitnaan ng 19th century, lumiliit na yung kanilang impluensya, yung saklaw ng kanilang teritoryo lumiliit, humihina ang kanilang ekonomiya because probably of the bad governance in the mother country. So kung titingnan natin, ito yung effort nila to make the Philippines a center, an economic center. Pero sadly, ang nangyayari dito kasi, maraming mga pagkakataon na yung mga efforts na yan ng administration was futile because nandyan din yung ibang sistema na pinapatupad ng mga fraile dito sa Pilipinas. So mayroong batas, may yung Las Leyes de las Indias, pero hindi na ipapatupad ng maayos sa Pilipinas. So yung context ito is that this effort was implemented to actually make the Philippines a political center and actually an economic center. At kung titingnan natin, kung susiriin natin siya, in this painting alone, in this one piece of art, art piece, sentro pa ng art piece na to ay isang dakilang pintor, maipapaliwanag ang konteksto ng period, buong 18th, 19th century na ipaliwanag ng isang painting na yan. So dakila yung pagkakalahad ni Miranda Chu dito sa article niya na nabigyan ng hustisya ng painting na yon, yung konteksto ng kasaysayan. Naipaliwanag niya yung development ng pintor from his early art forms hanggang sa kanyang pagtanda, naipaliwanag niya yung konteksto ng Spain as a waning superpower during this period at naiangkla niya rin ang kasaysayan ng Pilipinas dito sa economic side ng Real Compañía de Filipinas, So yan, marami pa sana akong sasabihin eh. The article is an example of another way how to write history. This article exemplifies how to utilize an artwork in contextualizing a particular epoch, a turning point, a continuation of a periphery. Chu effectively utilized the impressions of art connoisseurs and weaving the stories behind the historical figures in the painting. She was able to dissect the mind of the artist in Goya by expounding on the intricacies of the artistic movement of the period. She excellently analyzed the several angles of the artwork by utilizing the observations of several art historians as well. She gave different vantage points from the eyes of an artist and associated it with the events. So you can see our history is littered with political centers. I mean, the methodology is anchored on the political centers, the urban, So seldom we can see national histories including the periphery, the interstices. So this is one way, one method of narrating history. Kanina nabanggit ko yung eloquence. Ang ganda ng pagkakasulat niya. Napunto niya yung she was able to give justice to art as an instrument to write history. So of course this needs a thorough archival research, susundan mo kung nasaan yung art piece na yan and how the definition of that art piece in one setup, no? Makikita mo yung kinalalagyan niya sa kasaysayan, sa mga turning points ng kasaysayan, no? So I guess this is my paper, no? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sir Basilia. So participants, any questions? You may raise your virtual hands.
Gusto ko pa sana magdaldal kaso lang baka masita ko ng din.
It is not the dean who is boss today. It is the chair of the scientific committee. It's Dr. Aris.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Is there any question we want to ask?
Oh.
Sige. May I ask suggestion from? Yeah, may I ask suggestion from Professor Basilia? Indeed, to have a degree in Master of Arts in history is a rare instance, no? Based from feedback from some of our students, parang not I mean SBCA, generally na based from feedbacks. In the teaching of new gen ed, there is a hard time on how to study and learn Philippine history or history for that matter. What can we suggest? What should be done in order for our students, not at SBCA, but generally for students, to gain interest in the study of history?
Sasagutin ko ba ito ng buong puso?
Oh, yes, of course.
Of course, one way of this is to develop teachers to actually love history, no? Training teachers, I mean sa college level pa lang, no? Let us encourage learners to actually love history. Paano malalab mo yung history? By promoting it, no? By asking our LGUs, actually ginagawa naman yan, and reminding of the academe of the role of history, no? Hindi lang ito pag-memorize ng dates, ng facts, but actually this is an important part of policy making, no? So you cannot actually proceed to a better future if you could not deduce the lessons of the past, no? So now actually meron din punto dito yung kailangan i-train ang bata na mahalin ang kasaysayan grade level pa lang. So kailangan ang teacher ay isang magaling na storyteller. Later on na lang yung serious discussion ng history. Pero the process of the teacher sharing facts in a lively and very engaging manner, siguro yun ang kasi ako ang interest ko sa history was because of my former teacher in grade 4 and grade 5 na na-develop further nung ang nagkaroon ako ng napakahusay, napakagaling na teacher nung first year and second year. So, malaking bagay, malaking papel ang ginagampanan ng guro dito,
SBGG is here a while ago. I hope he's still with us now. In case of local history, what could be the role kaya ng LGU on this?
Yeah. Thank you for asking that question. Actually, we have very good yung ginagawa ngayon ng ating local government dito sa Muntinlupa because buhay na buhay ang pagbibigay-pugay sa lokal na kasaysayan. The Museo of Muntinlupa was hosting or rather is hosting webinar series where yours truly have meron na kang
congratulations on that, Professor Basilia.
And aside from that, the city government is planning to ask us to write a comprehensive history of the locality of Muntinlupa. And magandang magandang advocahan ito. And aside from that, pwede nating incorporate yung panayam sa mga sa mga matatanda ng Muntinlupa na naranasan yung mga turning points dito. Meron pa akong nasilip na mga matatanda na nakapanayam ko actually na edad 80s, 90s na, and they've shared to me very important facts to corroborate my studies, archival studies. So napagtatagpi-tagpi natin yon at ito ay magandang simulain ng lokalidad ng Muntinlupa.
Well, in case there is no question, may isa na lang.
Si Doc Ron, nagtataas ng kamay. Si Doc Ron nagtataas ng kamay.
I think Dr. Ron has a question, sir.
Okay.
Hi, hello. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Professor Basilia. Actually, it's not a question, but a way of saying that the use of art in the teaching of history is a very powerful way. It allows learners to visualize exactly the written past. And using artwork like this is, for me, a very powerful one. That is in relation with the question of the Dean earlier. How are we going to make history, or how are we going to teach history in an interesting way? Well, of course, Professor Basilia has already mentioned, one, of course, totoo yun, the mastery of the teacher himself or herself on the subject matter is very important. Because any teacher who teaches history, for that matter, who himself is not fully knowledgeable on what history is, might distort the historical presentation, and that will lead to a further chaos. Another thing is because of the curriculum that we have. From junior high, grade 7 to 10, they have AP, and then at senior high, no subject in history. And then in Philippine history in particular. And then suddenly, we will go to college under the new Gen Ed, readings in Philippine history, which is different from the usual way of teaching history. No? So this is more on primary sources, readings in Philippine history. Now, Professor Basilia mentioned the LGU's effort is there. Yes, it is not the LGU supposedly to look for schools to tie up with the schools, but the other way around. It is the school that should tie up with the LGU. And the first part of the Philippine history for HEIs should be localized history. So
Yes,
if we, diba, Sir Basilia? So we are in Muntinlupa, we are in Alabang. Forget about the history of Philippines in general first, but you have to know first the local history.
Yes.
Like what we are doing here in Cavite, the first part of Philippine history here is the history of Cavite. So I think these are some of the ways, and of course, the rigid training of the teacher is very important, both in terms of content and in terms of pedagogy.
Okay.
And of course, sabi nga Sir Basilia, that will inspire students to appreciate history. Kasi hindi mo ma-appreciate ang history kung ang teacher mo mismo ay hindi ka puri-puri at hindi ka alam-alam ng kasaysayan. Tutulugan yan ng estudyante.
Yes, sir.
At matutulog ang estudyante. So,
actually, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Teka, nasamid ako doon.
Actually, meron akong project, sir. Already submitted the final manuscript to the DepEd NCR. It's a BERF, Basic Education Research Fund. And I was able to identify the competencies of grade 2 and grade 3 Araling Panlipunan curriculum where research of the locality was badly needed. So there, in that paper that I submitted sa DepEd NCR, I was able to trace the locality of Muntinlupa. And of course, hindi pa naman, ang kasaysayan ay hindi natatapos sa isang sulatan lamang. So maaari pa itong pagyamanin, marami pang paraan, makalkal, mga primary sources, mga dokumento na mas magpapayaman ng pagsusulat, no. So I think gumaganda ang lokal na kasaysayan ng Muntinlupa.
Okay. Now we are all scholars. Nice discussion. This is really the purpose of a forum.
Doc Dan, before we, idagdag ko na lang, pahabol na lang, that exactly what, if you remember, Sir Ed, in UP, there is that book, Art and History, written by Guillermo and Datuin. That's the whole trust, making use of history, of artworks in teaching history. So that, I think, what Professor Ed has shared with us today, the powerful use of history of artworks in the teaching of history. There are more artworks to study. Yes,
sir, of course.
In teaching history, So instead of simply teaching the blood compact, why not make use of the artwork blood compact wishball? That will better visualize and the students will better appreciate exactly what
Yes,
blood
yes,
compact
yes.
is all about.
Oh. Yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, I guess.
Napasubo ako doon.
Masyadong napapasarap. But
Oh.
anyway, sir, thank you, Sir Basilia, and to our participants. Okay, let's move on with our next presenter. May I call on with Professor Malu Miranda to introduce our next speaker po. Ma'am Malu?
Ay, magandang umaga. Bilang propesora ng aking mga mag-aaral, yung mga estudyante ko po sa asignaturang pananaliksik o research ay ang kanilang ginawang thesis writing ay nakabatay sa kanilang kurso. So halimbawa po yung psychology o psikolohiya, depression ang paksa ng kanilang thesis writing. Pero ang napili namin ni Dean Cabalu, nung nag-meeting kami ni Dean Cabalu, ay ang education. So sabi ko kay Dean Cabalu, si Christian Ruedas na napakahusay na mag-aaral ang siyang magsasagawa ng presentation ng kinahinatnan ng kanilang pananaliksik sa online classes, isang pag-aaral tungkol sa mga hamon sa pagtuturo ng online classes na isinagawa dito sa St. Bernadette. Okay, so gusto ko ipakilala sa inyo si Christian Ruedas ng Education Department. Napakahusay na estudyante ko sa pananaliksik. At ang kanyang mga kaklase ay naririto upang matunghayan ang isang thesis writing na ginawa nila hinggil sa online classes. Okay, Christian, good luck.
Magandang umaga po sa lahat. May request lang po for technical assistance in presenting my slides po. Ayan, muli, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat na naririto ngayon sa Scientific Committee at sa lahat ng mga profesor at miyembro ng faculty ng St. Bernadette College of Alabang at sa mga estudyanteng naririto ngayon. Mula sa grupo ng kurso ng edukasyon, akong kinatawan na si Christian M. Ruedas ay maglalahad sa inyo ng aming pananaliksik tungkol sa mga hamong kinakaharap ng mga guro ng St. Bernadette College of Alabang sa pagtuturo ng online class sa taong pampaaralan 2020-2021. Dahil nga po limitado lamang ang oras ng pagpepresenta ng aking pananaliksik, minarapat po namin ng aking minamahal na guro, Ginang Lourdes Miranda, na magkaroon lamang ng pahapyaw na pag-uulat patungkol sa nasabing pananaliksik na ito. Next slide, please. So, sa nangyaring pananaliksik namin, kami po ay nagkaroon ng pagsusuri or survey questionnaire sa 10 respondente ng mga guro ng St. Bernadette College, Alabang. At mula sa mga resulta ng mga guro na nagsilbing respondente ng aming pananaliksik, naririto po ang resulta at interpretasyon ng mga sinagutan nila. Ang kabanatang ito ay naglalahad ng resulta at interpretasyon ng mga nakalap na datos mula sa mga guro ng St. Bernadette College of Alabang hinggil sa pagtuturo ng online classes. Ang mga mananaliksik ay nagsagawa ng nasabing survey questionnaire upang sagutan. Next slide, please. Narito ang mga katanungan at mga naging resulta, gayon din ang interpretasyon. Tanong bilang 1. Sapat ba ang iyong mga kagamitan na ginagamit sa iyong pagtuturo online? Dahil alam naman po natin na sa pagtuturo natin at sa pagyakap natin sa teknolohiya na bumabagay sa paraan ng pagtuturo natin ngayong new normal, kailangan po ang medium o teknolohiya na gagamitin para makaangkop at makabilang sa pagtuturo ng klase online. At batay sa resulta ng survey na ito, 70% ang sumagot ng oo habang 10% naman ang sumagot ng hindi. Ang resultang ito ay nagpapahayag na halos lahat ng mga guro sa St. Bernadette College of Alabang ay may mga sapat na kagamitan para sa kanilang pagtuturo ng online classes. Gaya na lang halimbawa ng mga laptop, smartphones at iba pang gadget na makatutulong upang mabigyang interaction sila sa kanilang mga mag-aaral. Next slide please. Tanong bilang 2. Sapat ba ang iyong kaalaman sa paggamit ng iba't ibang aplikasyon sa pagtuturo? Bukod sa teknolohiya, dapat meron ding kaalaman ang mga tagapagturo upang mapagana ng maayos ang mga kailangan nilang aplikasyon o mga software na gagamitin para maging maayos ang pagtuturo nila sa klase, upang maging maayos ang paghahatid aralin nila sa kanilang mga estudyante. At sa survey na ito, may 70% ang sumagot ng oo at 10% naman ang sumagot na hindi. At batay sa resulta, lumalabas na halos lahat ng kaguruan ng SBCA ang may sapat na kaalaman sa paggamit ng iba't ibang aplikasyon para sa kanilang pagtuturo ng online classes. Ngunit mayroon pa ding nagsasabi na hindi ito sapat. Hindi sapat ang kanilang kaalaman sa paggamit ng mga aplikasyon sa pagtuturo ng online classes. Ngunit maliit na porsyento lamang ito. Next slide please. Tanong bilang 3. Nakakagawa ka ba agad ng mga alternatibong paraan ng pagtuturo sa kabila ng mahinang internet connection? Ito po given na o usual thing na problema kinakaharap natin, miski guro o mapa-estudyante. Lalong-lalo na po ang pagkakaroon ng disconnection o pagkakaroon ng mahinang internet connection. Kaya naman sa pagtatala namin ng katanungang ito, 70% ang sumagot ng oo at ang natitirang 30% naman ang sumagot na hindi. Ang resultang ito ay nagpapahayag na marami sa mga guro ang nakagagawa kaagad ng mga alternatibong paraan sa kabila ng mahinang internet connection. Gayunpaman ay may mga ilan-ilan pa ring mga guro na hindi kaagad nakagagawa ng alternatibong paraan. At base rin po sa mga karanasan namin sa mga klase na aming pinapasukan, ang mga alternatibong paraan na ginagawa ng aming mga tagapagturo ay gumagawa sila ng mga aktibidad through asynchronously. Ayun po ang ginagawa nila upang mapunan ang mga na-miss na sessions na dapat naming pinapasukan. Ngunit dahil nga sa kahinaan ng internet connection o iba pang bagay na humahadlang sa synchronous classes, nagkakaroon ng mga pamamaraan o alternatibo ang mga guro upang kahit papaano maipagpatuloy namin ang pag-aaral ukol sa nasabing mga aralin at leksyon sa mga araw na ayon. Next slide please. Tanong bilang 4. Pamilyar ka ba sa mga aplikasyon na ginagamit sa online learning? Sa survey na ito, may 60% ang sumagot ng oo at may 40% naman ang sumagot na hindi. At base dito, mas marami pa ring mga guro ng SBCA ay pamilyar sa mga aplikasyong kanilang ginagamit sa online learning. Subalit may mga ibang guro pa rin na hindi nagtala na hindi sila pamilyar sa mga aplikasyong ginagamit sa pagtuturo ng online classes. Alam naman po natin na dapat ay pamilyar tayo sa mga aplikasyon na ginagamit at para saan po ito magagamit upang magkaroon ng husto at maayos na paglalahad at paggamit nito sa mga presentasyon at aralin. Next slide please. Tanong bilang 5. Nakakatulong ba ang paggamit ng mga iba't ibang Google application para maging epektibo ang iyong pagtuturo? Sa survey na ito, may 80% ang sumagot ng oo at 20% naman ang sumagot ng hindi. At batay dito, higit na marami pa rin sa guro ng SPCA ang nagsasabi na nakakatulong ang paggamit ng iba't ibang Google application para mas maging epektibo ang pagtuturo ng mga guro sa online classes, kumpara sa ilan na nagsasabi hindi epektibo ang paggamit ng mga ito. Dahil nga po nasa online classes tayo, ang St. Bernadette College Alabang ay nag-adhere doon sa G Suites applications na nakatutulong naman sa pagpapatuloy ng daloy ng pagtuturo. Gmeet, Google Forms, Google Slides, at iba pang mga sangay ng Google application. Kaya naman, naitala namin ang katanungang ito upang sagutin ang ating mga respondent. Next slide, please. Tanong bilang 6. Nakakagawa ka ba ng maayos na presentasyon online sa bawat leksyong iyong itinuturo? Sa survey na ito, may 60% ang sumagot ng oo at 40% naman ang sumagot ng hindi. At base sa resultang ito, napatunayan na mas maraming guro ang nakagagawa ng maayos na presentasyon online sa bawat leksyong itinuturo sa online classes kumpara sa mga gurong nagtala na hindi sila nakakagawa ng maayos na presentasyon para sa pagtuturo. Alam naman po natin na ang maayos na paghahatid aral ay may kaakibat na maayos na instructional materials at instruction at directions na gagawin at pagkakaroon ng mga maayos na flow o maayos na daloy ng aralin. Kaya naman naitala namin ang katanungang ito upang sagutan ng ating mga minamahal na respondente para na rin maging aware sila sa kanilang sarili kung naaayos ba nila ang pagtuturo at pag-discuss ng mga leksyon sa kanilang mga mag-aaral. Next slide, please. Tanong bilang 7. Naibabahagi mo ba ng maayos ang iyong leksyon gamit ang teknolohiya? Sa survey na ito, mayroong 80% ang sumagot ng oo at 20% naman ang hindi. Ito ay nagpapahayag ng karamihan ng mga guro ng SBCA ay nakapagtuturo ng leksyon ng maayos gamit ang teknolohiya, kumpara sa mga gurong hindi nakapagtuturo ng maayos ng kanilang leksyon gamit ang teknolohiya para sa makabagong paghatid karunungan. Dito naman po sa katanungang ito, ang teknolohiya po ay isa sa mga essentials na ginagamit natin. Kaya naman i-generalize namin ang katanungang ito. Ngunit sa kabila nito, sa ilang panayam namin sa mga guro, meron pa rin mga kaakibat na problema ang paggamit ng teknolohiya. Ngunit suma total, nagiging maayos pa rin ang daloy ng kanilang pagtuturo, pagkakaroon ng interaksyon sa mga mag-aaral gamit ang teknolohiya sa online class. Next slide, please. Tanong bilang 8. Nakahahadlang ba sa mas maayos na pagkatuto ang pagkakaroon ng lumang gadget kumpara sa makabagong gadget? Dito po sinubok namin ang katanungang ito upang mahambing namin ang kahusayan ng makabagong gadget at lumang gadget kung ito ba epektibo pa rin upang magkaroon ng maayos na daloy ng pagtuturo. At sa survey na ito, may 70% ang sumagot ng oo habang 30% naman ang sumagot ng hindi. At base sa resulta nito, nagpapakita na mas marami ang nagtala na nakahahadlang sa mas maayos na pagkatuto sa paggamit ng lumang gadget kung ikukumpara sa makabagong gadget. Subalit, mayroon din namang ilan pa rin naniniwala na hindi hadlang ang paggamit ng lumang gadget sa maayos sa pagkatuto sa kadahilan ng mas maraming features na inilalahad o ipinapalabas ang mga makabagong gadget kumpara sa lumang gadget. Next slide, please. Tanong bilang 9. Masasabi mo bang sapat na ang mga online classes para matugunan ng pangangailangan ng mga estudyante sa edukasyon? Batay sa resulta ng survey na ito, mayroong 70% ang sumagot ng oo at 10% naman ang sumagot ng hindi. Ito ay nagsasaad lamang na halos lahat ng respondente ay naniniwala na sapat ang online classes para sa taong pampaaralan 2020-2021 upang matugunan at maibigay ang mga pangangailangan ng mga mag-aaral sa edukasyon sa panahon ng pandemya. Base rito, alam naman natin na wala rin naman tayong opsyon na magagawa para maipagpatuloy ang maayos na daloy ng online classes sa ating mga estudyante. Kaya naman, kung makikita rin natin dito, nagkakaroon ng double efforts ang ating mga guro upang maibigay lamang ang maayos na daloy ng pagtuturo. Ayon na rin sa resulta ng survey na ito. Next slide, please. Tanong bilang 10. Pinakahuling tanong na po ito sa survey questionnaire. Masasabi mo ba na ang online distance learning ay isang hadlang na mas maayos sa pagtuturo? Batay sa resulta ng survey na ito, 70% ng mga respondente ang sumagot ng oo habang mayroon namang 30% ang sumagot ng hindi. At base rito, makikita na mas marami sa mga guro ng SBCA ang nagsasabi na ang online distance learning ay isang hadlang pa rin. Gayon pa man na may mga magaganda at maayos na pag-komento at pananaw ang guro dito. Gayon pa man, may ilang guro pa din na nagsasabing na ang ODL ay hindi isang hadlang para sa mas maayos na pagtuturo. So meron pong contrasting part ang mga respondente patungkol dito. Next slide, please. Yeah. Kabanata 8. Ito po ang sa appendix. Ang appendix po ay naglalaman ng, next slide, please. Ayan yung mga talatanungan na aming ginamit through Google Forms po. It was generated through Google Forms po. Next slide, please. Ayan. At ang grapo namin na ginawa upang mabigyang pansin pa rin at mabigyang suri pa rin ang mga sinabing pananaw o tinugunang pananaw ng mga guro ng St. Bernadette College of Alabang. Maraming salamat po at magandang araw po muli sa inyo.
Okay, maraming salamat Ginoong Ruedas, Christian. So, para po sa mga participants, meron po ba tayong mga katanungan or suggestions?
Tanong po.
Reaction? Yes, sir?
Yes. Ginoong Ruedas, dalawang katanungan lang po. Okay, unang katanungan, baka maaari mo po bang bigyan kami ng maikling kinagisnan ng iyong pagsasaliksik? Okay. And pangalawang katanungan, maaari po bang malaman kung ilan po yung tumugon sa inyong survey na galing sa SBCA? Salamat po.
Sige po, sadali lamang po, Ginoong Aris. At i-present ko po yung aking slide na ginawa about patungkol dito. Yan. Mula po sa unang katanungan nyo, ang mga hamon kinaharap ng mga guro sa pagtuturo ng St. Bernadette ng online classes sa institusyon ng St. Bernadette College of Alabang ay may kinalaman sa pagitan ng paggamit ng teknolohiya at paghatid aralin na nakaayon sa mga sumusunod na dimensyon. Ang una naming tinugunan dito at itinala is yung availability ng pagkakaroon ng gadget. Pangalawa, ang kabihasaan o pagiging pamilyar. Pangatlo, ang kakayahan nila sa paggawa ng instructional materials gamit ang online classes. Pang-apat, ang pagiging epektibo sa paraan ng pagtuturo gamit ang teknolohiya. Pang-lima, ang pamamaraan at mga alternatibo nilang ginagawa sa pagtawid ng klase. At pang-anim, ang kasapatan ng pagtuturo at pananaw nila tungkol dito sa pangangailangan ng estudyante sa edukasyon. Ito po ay tinugunan ng 10 respondente o tagapagturo mula sa SBCA. Maraming salamat po.
Salamat, Christian.
Hello. Hello.
Yes,
Hello,
Ma'am Malu,
sir.
go ahead po.
Oo, si Ma'am Miranda to. Ang kadahilanan, hindi kami pamahagi ng napakaraming questionnaire sa napakaraming respondente. Alam namin yung validity ng thesis, no? Pero kasi panahon ngayon ng pandemic, hindi katulad noon, naalala ko noon ng face-to-face classes pa ang mga estudyante ko, ay talagang 100 copies ng questionnaire ang pinapasirox ko para gawa nila ng tally sheet at i-compute. Pero panahon kasi ng pandemic ngayon, naunawaan ko, napakahirap. Sabi nga ni Christian, Ma'am, paano po itong in-email kong survey, questionnaire, na gagamitin sa survey, hindi po sumagot-sagot. No? So, medyo mahirap po talagang ngayong, anong tawag dito? Online. Yung iba naman ay walang pang-load para sumagot. No? So siguro po yun ang isa sa mga pero nakita natin yung ginawa ni Christian na pagsusumigasig para matugunan po ito. Maraming salamat, Christian. Thank you po.
Thank you, Ma'am Malu. So, for our last question, Sir Dr. Ron, meron po ba tayong
good morning.
katanungan po?
Good morning ulit. Congratulations, Christian, of course, for the humble beginning. But in line doon sa question ni Dr. Aris, na itanong na niya kasi ilan, and nasagot na rin ng professor advisor na 10 out of how many faculty members po ba ito? Para kung ito ay gagawing basehan ng ating school, if the admin will make decision based on these findings, will it be safe? Will it be feasible to make a generalization from 10 out of how many faculty members involved in the collegiate level? Pangalawa po, kung ito ay if this is the general picture, although you already mentioned 10 out of how many, I am worried about the findings in some items. For example, in item 10, 70% you said that ODL ay isang hadlang. Kung 7 sa 10 sa ating mga guro ay nagsasabi na hadlang ang ODL, paano na po ang gagawin at ano po ang gagawin nitong 7 ito na nagsasabi na hadlang sa pagtuturo ang ODL? Kaya 1 o 2 o 3 lang ang nagsabi niyan, ilang estudyante ho kaya meron itong 7 teacher na ito na nagsasabi na hadlang ang ODL? There's another item number 2. I don't know if I got it right, Christian. Doon sa item number 2, hindi ko alam ano yung tanong. Tungkol ba ito sa kaalaman, yung sa number 2, 90% versus 10%. Tapos pagdating sa item 4 mo, 60% versus 40% tungkol sa sapat na kaalaman. Ang punto ko dito, Christian, ay doon sa mga tanong, parang may overlapping or merong inconsistencies or contradictions. Kaya, paano tayo ngayon makakabuo ng general conclusion from this? Kaya nakita ko rin na yun yung punto ni Dr. Ignacio kanina sa paglalahad ng suliranin. Ano po ba talaga yung question? But then again, as a beginner researcher, I commend, yung the way how you did it, So kaya nga lang dahil ang mga researchers like this, hindi lang sa mga estudyante, pati na rin sa ating mga teachers na nag-present, researchers like this should address specific problems, particularly for our schools. Kaya magiging basehan ang mga findings ng mga ito to make a better decision. So, yun lang yung aking observation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
May I be recognized? Madam Moderator, may I be recognized?
Okay, let's have Dr. Cabalu for additional information.
Yes, I would like to comment, Christian, for this particular work. Next time, alam ko na magiging magaling itong mga batang ito. Also, nakita ko yung worry ni Dr. Aris a while ago and Dr. Pasige. Those who answered is very conservative, and also nag-worry din ako dun sa results. It has to be validated. Nonetheless, there is always a room for improvement. As it was mentioned by Dr. Pasige, this is good enough for beginners such as our students. After all, this is the first time it was done in our institution. Nonetheless, congratulations, Christian. Thank you very much for participating.
Salamat po.
Thank you.
Okay, I guess thank you, sir. So let's move on. So onto our next presenter from the College of Information Technology. May I call on Professor Vea Guevara from IT Department. Ma'am, you may start now.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. And wow, being after pure Tagalog, I feel quite intimidated to go right after. But I will do my best to have a delightful morning for all of you all. So I'm really glad to be here. Once again, my name is Bea Guevara. And hold on, let me share my screen real quick. So here we go. Yes, there we go. Do you all see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Again, I'm delighted to be here. So my title topic, or our title topic, is entitled Implementation of an Android Mobile Location-Based Service Application for General Auto Repair Shops. So in layman's term, basically, we created an application to locate the nearest auto shops near you. So let's begin with the introduction. So again, as we all may know, the mobile applications are on the rise. A lot of companies are now creating their own applications because, again, we're all at home and we all have our own mobile devices. And so, of course, we all want to be in the new trend or the new technology that we have right now. And based off of our title, location is actually one of the most important factors for customizing an application, especially due to the rapid growth and wide availability of positioning techniques like GPS and internet connectivity. And again, consequently, there has been an increasing interest in location-based service works in both the academic and commercial projects over the past few years. So there has been a lot of apps there are a lot of companies that have created their own apps. So for example, like when we are now entering the mall, instead of having to write down on a piece of paper our name and filling out the questionnaire if we've been having any symptoms of COVID, now we can just use a QR code and answer it through our phones. Next, my needs analysis. So what is a needs analysis? It basically means, why did we think of creating this application or this project? What was the need? Why was it necessary? And why auto repair shops? So people nowadays, like I mentioned, we want everything to be fast and accessible. We want everything to be on the palm of our hands. And so usually typing though can, take up too much of our time. And of course, looking through different options, it again can take up much of our time. You may ask me, Bea, there are applications like Zomato, there's Yelp, Foursquare, and most importantly, there's Google. We can just search online. The nearest auto repair shops. But when we search these types of things on the internet, the information can be very vague. It can be very inaccurate for us users. So and sometimes the information online can be outdated and not be controlled even by the shop owner itself. Apps like Zomato and Yelp, they do have a feature where you can find your nearest auto shops, but they don't solely focus on that side of the industry. I'll give you an example like Airbnb. Airbnb solely focuses only on renting out a place, or letting other people rent out your place, or houses, and so on and so forth. Well, Trivago is an application that allows you to search for the nearest hotels around you. So that's why we thought of the idea of using mobile auto repair shops, because there are a lot of people who own cars. And of course, when you're creating a mobile application for this side of the industry, it helps users find the nearest auto shops who may or may not be familiar with the area that you are around. So for example, right here, my background, I am in like the middle of nowhere, right? I'm in the middle of nowhere. So what if I don't know where the place is? So this application can allow us to give us the most accurate information of the nearest auto shops near you. For example, I'm running out of gas, and I'm in the middle of nowhere. I don't know where I am. So maybe this application can be that app to help travelers or just everyday drivers on their day-to-day drive. So Next, my material and methods. So right here is the framework or the IPO framework, the input, process, output. So this framework or this diagram, basically, it shows us the overview of the process of each feature or each process in the application or what the application does. So for example, right here, we have the username and password. So once we input a username and password, where the application is able to process the user's details, and the output would be, of course, you're able to log in, or if you do not have the right credentials, obviously you would not be able to log into your account. Next would be if you would input or search a keyword. So for example, I want to look for an air conditioning repair. So I would type that in the search field and the app will locate a shop for me. And the output will of course be search results. Next, if I input these shop details, so if I was a car shop owner and I wanted to add my shop into the application, all I would do is to add the shop details into the app. The app will then process it by adding the shop, and then the output would be an updated
Picture, pero nakikinig.
list.
Opo.
Oh, there's no picture. Okay. Can you see my screen here now? No.
Okay na, meron na dito.
Ano yun, ma'am? Ano mo na. Alis mo yung picture.
Oh.
Pero nakikita.
Is it me? Oh.
Yes, ma'am, we can see your slide.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. My apologies, but continuing on, next would be the shop review. If I wanted to leave a review on the shop that I just went to, then I would add the review, and then the output would be an updated view thread. Next, our last is the input. So we would have to input our knowledge, our hardware and software requirements for creating an application. The process would take up prototyping methodology, planning, design, implementation, deployment, feedback, and communication. And that would lead us to the name of our application, which is called AutoDirect. So AutoDirect, because auto being the Tagalog way to say auto, or the slang term to say auto, and direct because this application is a online directory for the nearest auto repair shops. Next, we have the use case diagram. So this diagram shows us what the users do in our app, or what actions they do in our application. So here we have two users, or we have two characters. We have the customer and we have the admin. So let's start off with the customer. The customer will have the ability to log in, and then again, they will be able to verify their credentials. If their credentials are not valid or not in the database, then the application will show a display login error. The customer can also, or a user can also add their shop, and the application will verify if it is a legit shop. But if not, the admin on this side, they will be the ones to disapprove of the shop if they do not have any valid proof that they are a legitimate shop. Next is if the customer needs to search for a specific service there that they may need, then of course you can search and suggested car shops will appear. And lastly, the user are able to review the shop and leave a review on the shop. So for the methodology that we use. So the methodology that we use to create this project is prototyping. So prototyping is a software development model in which a prototype is built, tested, and reworked until an acceptable working model is achieved. So we continue to create prototypes in order to build the final project. So it also creates a base, again, to produce the final application. And this type of methodology works best for mobile ones and works best for experimental projects. So the model is an iterative trial and error method, which takes place usually between developer and client. So right here in figure 3, you can see the prototyping model that we use in the methodology. So first, we would start off with a quick plan, next a quick design, next a construction of the prototype, deployment, delivery, and feedback, and then we have communication, and the cycle repeats until we have the final product. You might be asking me, Bea, you have so many diagrams. What's the purpose of all of these diagrams? Well, I'd like to explain to people and also to my students that these diagrams are very important when creating an application or creating a project, because this allows us to all be able to see what we're actually doing. And I believe that when we are actually able to see what we're doing, it gives us a little motivation, and as well as it allows everyone who is a part of the team or the project team to be on the same page. So we're all able to see what we're all doing at the same time. So here on the sequence diagram, figure 4, 5, and 6, these are called a sequence diagram. So a sequence diagram just shows the flow of data, or the flow of how the process of a single process a user does in the application. So we can just do this figure 5 real quick. So if a user were to log in, they would fill in their information of the shop, the shop details, their shop details, and then they would register it, and then the app would add the car shop into the database. And if we have two alternatives here, if the car shop is valid or if it is a legit shop, then the car shop is added. If it is not a legit shop, if it is not valid, then the car shop is declined. So it goes on with the rest of these figure 4, 5, and 6. This is my next diagram, which is called the activity diagram, and it just shows the flow of data of how it works. So let's just go on to figure 8, which is the shorter one. So we have here, if we want to add a new car shop, we can have the admin is informed, and if it is again not a valid shop, then invalid. Next, if the car shop details are added, and if it is again a legit shop, then the car shop is added into the application. So moving on, in the development of the prototype, an initial test featuring the nearest 5 auto shops that were located around the vicinity. So we conducted a survey, and this survey consisted of 35 people, and it was validated into 2 stages, and it was designed through a series of categories. Namely, first category is the user interface design. Next is the system performance. Third is the system integrity. And lastly would be security. So these categories contain the criteria in determining the acceptance of the mobile application. Those 35 respondents consisted of car shop owners, car enthusiasts, people who own cars, and so on and so forth. So right here in the categories that we broke it down. So user interface design, what does that mean? It basically means if the application is aesthetically pleasing to the eye of the user. Right here, if it's pleasing to the eye, if the application is suitable to the purpose, and if it's easy, if it is user-friendly. That's most important when we're creating an application. Secondly, we have what we call a system performance. Is it fast enough to find the search the auto shops that are near me? Is it easy again? Next is the system integrity. Does it do what my app was said it would do, right? If it does show the exact location of the shops, does it indicate the proper auto shops and its services? And lastly, most importantly, is security. The system provides the security needed for accounts, and can the data stored cannot be tampered, which is very important. So the acceptability of the system was determined using a scaling system, and that scaling system that we used was called the 5-point Likert scale. As you can see right here, this is the range and interpretation that that's stated in this table. So scale number 5, it is interpreted as an excellent, number 4 being very good, 3 to be good, and 2 fair, and number 1, which we do not want, is poor. Next, we have a little math going on here. We have to identify the formula that we have to identify the weighted mean. So Thankfully, this formula is quite easy enough for all of us to understand, but yes, it's just basically to find the weighted mean after we collected all the results. And again, after gathering the results of the survey, adjustments were made to the application to further enhance the final version of the prototype. So this is the results of the application. So let us take a look of what the application would look like. So here on the first picture, we have what you call the splash screen, and this shows us the application logo. So it's very simple logo.
Miss Bea, you only have 5 minutes, 5 seconds. Finish. Yeah. 5 seconds. Okay.
Okay, okay, yeah, we can run through this, but here is the image of the application we have right here. So on here, if we enter the app, if we are, here is the search page, and the nearest auto shops that are near you, it would be pinpoint, and it would also help you find your way to that destination or that shop that you would want to go to. If you want to add your shop into the application, this is the page. If you want to change your profile, this is also the page. Again, I also have here, if you're not so sure on what type of service that you may need in the application, then there is a categories page that allows you to see if you need mechanical works done, electrical, so on and so forth. And if you click on one of these, it shows you the auto shops that are nearest to you, and it can also help you see the services that they have in their shop. And again, you can have their phone number and their you can also leave them a rating. Lastly, here we go. This is the results. For the first category, we had I will rush it up, 4.95, which is an excellent, 4.76 for category 2, which is also an excellent. Next up, and for category 3, we have also an excellent as 4.87. And for security, we had a 4.46, which is very good. And overall, we had a total mean of 4.56, which was an excellent. So our respondents were very kind. And to conclude this presentation, so I recommend, of course, we want to increase the value of the projects that we work on. And so again, working on it for the future, we would like to recommend that transactions would be made into the application. So you can allow bookings and reservations and payments to the app. And we also recommend that these car shops are Google verified so that it would be easier for the application or for the admin to approve that this is a legitimate shop. And again, what's most important is what the users want and what the users, we have to listen to what the users need. And again, a feedback page would be a really great part for the application, because of course we want to hear the inputs and insights of users for continuous improvement and success for the application. And again, creating an application like AutoDirect, it allows an easier way for users to locate the nearest auto shops that contain the services that the customer needs. And this is better than the traditional way of searching nowadays. And yeah, it provides us an easier and more efficient manner, and it is a great application in cases of emergency, most especially. And again, I think like me and Dr. Iris, we like to say that time is bronze, silver, and gold. So I think this application will do great in help us saving time. And to wrap it up, I do believe that if we have the motivation and if we're willing to do something and we have the motivation to do it at any given age, I think we can do something like this, a project at any given age. And yes, thank you all so much. And I'm delighted again to be here. I hope you all had a great time with me in this very presentation of mine. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you, Miss Bea.
Thank you.
I guess, do we have any question? Let me check first. Okay, I guess there's no question.
There is a question from Dr. Pasigi, I suppose.
Yes, sir. Sir Ronnie.
Again, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Miss Bea.
Good morning.
Well, I commend, of course, the technicality, well done and everything. But I just have one concern, Miss Bea. If I am to ask you, What would be the relevance of this paper with the SBCA community as an academic institution?
Well, as a recent graduate myself, I think this is very important because we want our students to be able to have the motivation and to show them that us teachers, we can create a simple project like this and that they have the ability to, you know, do something simple as creating a project. And I think being an educator or a teacher, that we have to continue to inspire our students that, you know, even though this may seem so much or this may seem like a lot to do, at the end it can be worth it for the students, and at the end it's something that we should all be proud of for our students.
Yeah, thank you. But I'll be happier to see that the next project you will have in the IT, Miss Bea, to inspire students to create a platform that is more beneficial to the school as an institution. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah, of course. That's a great idea.
May
Thank
I
you.
ask question?
Yes, Dr. Ron, Dr. Cabalu, go ahead.
Oh, it seems to be the project itself seems to be interesting. Although I am not much interested, I mean I am not well versed as far as technology is concerned. No, medyo ano lang ako. So in layman's term, I just want to know about this app to be done. No, first. Nakita ko kanina there is a test on how will we know that the auto shop shall be legit. Tama ba?
Yes, yes sir.
Second, there could be reviews. Paano no? Paano makukuha yung mga list
of
how can we get the list of legit auto shops?
So, sir, as I mentioned at the actually bandang dulo na po of the presentation, in order for us to identify if it is a legit shop, first of all, of course, we highly recommend that the shop is Google verified, which means that Google has verified them as a real place, as a real shop. And again, when we are looking for if it is a legit shop, of course, what's important is that they show papers that they are a legit shop, right? And
no, Professor Bea, yung tanong ko is paano natin ma-generate yung list?
For the user, sir.
Hindi na. Di ba pag gagawin yung app, naka-database? Tama ba ako? Naka-database yung list ng mga auto shops? Tama ba yon?
Yes, sir. If they want
yung ilalagay sa database, paano natin makukuha?
Malalagay. So, sir, actually, with the project that we did, we only did a certain vicinity area. So what we did was, since it is a small project, we just started off here in Las Piñas and we located the 5 nearest auto shops around the area. And in order for you, the user, to know which auto shops are near you, of course, the application will access your location or your GPS positioning or where you are at. So therefore, that means that the application is able to show you these nearest auto shops around you.
Can I add, Bea?
Doc Aris?
Just to answer Doc Dan's question. Okay. Doc Dan, what is important here is the location. But if you're asking about the database, it is not really the application who provides the database. It is it is in the database Google already. Yes.
Okay, sir. Kasi parang nag-process yung mind ko na parang ang hirap ng parang ang hirap ng project.
Okay,
pero Sir Aris, doable siya, no?
Yes, doable. And it's a great question actually, Doc Dan, because if you're going to put it in the perspective of a certain user, you might be wondering where the data is coming from. If it is coming from the app or from somewhere else. But with regards to the project, it doesn't really come from the app, but it comes from a certain application that is developed under Google where Google is the one who is processing it in order for the data to be passed to the app if you're going to request for it. So that is how it is being done.
Okay, sir.
That is why, Doc, that it is recommended that the auto repair shops around, or not even around, but all over Metro Manila or maybe around the Philippines, should register and be verified by Google, so that if you're in the certain specific area, you would be tagged by Google and your data will be sent to the app. Yun po. Pero that's a great question po. Thank you.
Yeah, salamat, Doc Aris. Alam mo, hindi ako masyadong, I am not well versed as far as technology is concerned. No? Okay, yeah, thank you very much, Miss Bea. What is important is the project is doable, and I am okay with that. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Miss Bea, and to our participants, to our chairmen and co-chairmen. So let's move on with our last speaker. So may I call in Miss from College of Information Technology, Miss Lorena, one of our students. Okay, Miss Lorena, you may take the time now.
Nakikita po ba yung slides ko?
Yes, ma'am. Let me start now, Miss Lorena.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. So my name is Lorena de Guzman. I am a graduating IT student of St. Bernadette College of Alabang. So before I proceed, I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the presence of our VPAA, Mrs. Maria Flordalisa de Guzman, our college dean, Dr. Danilo Cabalu, and to Dr. Aris Ignacio for giving me the chance to present our paper and for encouraging me to do so. Thank you, sir. Today, I would like to share with you our research paper entitled ELMS Busliner Company Limited Online Bus Ticket Reservation System. This paper was conducted by Ms. Shannon Danieli Aputen, Ms. Sherlyn Bahasan, and yours truly. So now I will tell you why we chose this topic and what is this all about. In planning a topic for research, there are several discussions made, and we came up with a list of an online system that we wanted to develop. One of this was the online bus ticket reservation system. So our plan was to conduct a survey on which client will give us a privilege to use their company. So we conducted a survey in a series of ticketing office from different bus companies there in Alabang, and most of them declined. But we never lose hope. We had one last booth to ask. Then luckily, the personnel in that bus company gave us the contact person and a sketch of their main office where we can go and gather all the informations needed. So this company was the ELMS Busliner Company Limited. So from then, we had our first step. So ELMS Busliner Company Limited engages in transport and bus lines operating in Las Piñas City, where its principal office and garage is located. So we discovered that ELMS Busliner was ranked second among bus companies operating in the area in terms of capital and LTFRB franchises. So it is a stock partnership of Mr. Manuel and Leonida Elevado, duly registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission, and initially, the routes were from Alabang to Loton and vice versa. And then an extension route from Cavite to coastal areas in Manila, and then from Manila to Iloilo were added. So the company has also company employees shuttle services. They have a total of 45 units of shuttle service vehicles that contracted from various Chinese Pogo companies in Metro Manila for exclusive transportation for their employees. So they are also planning to extend its operation in Visayas and Mindanao. With the current system, the company has a manual system. So handwritten records are used in daily sales report. The written format of daily sales is recorded in a logbook. Payments are made to the cashier at the ticketing office. Receipts are issued manually. The customer can book a ticket on the actual day of travel or purchase ticket a month before the travel date. So there are 2 copies of receipts. As we all know, the customer is entitled the original copy while the company will be getting the copy. So in taking the daily records, every transaction made should be recorded in a cashier by the cashier in a provided logbook with the same format with the receipt. So for daily income, that is for daily income monitoring. For taking their monthly report, it takes a lot of time because daily records along with the number of customers per month will be properly monitored, sorted out, compiled for a company, for the monthly report and submitted to the accounting personnel by the cashier in a provided logbook. So imagine if this bulk of records you should sort out to make your report, it consumes a lot of time and effort. So now, this is the current flow chart. The flow chart of the current system. So the company's current system has the short and simple, yet it takes a lot of workload. The problem facing the company includes performance problem, which is time consuming for both sides, customers and the company. With all the process mentioned a while ago, we all know that it will take a lot of time doing everything in a daily basis. Data problem. They don't have backup because the current system has manually recorded data, which is time consuming and costly to produce reports. Manual document filing, placing faith in people handling the file. So there are so many ways it can be damaged, lost, or misplaced. And also fire disaster or a fire or a natural disaster could mean the loss of all the company's important information. With the economic problem, the wrong computation was considered because for manual daily report, the cashier will record the summary. Sometimes the cashier cannot handle time management due to volume of customers, especially during peak season. So this may cause a mistake in recording the needed data. Control problem, lack of flexibility. Conducting manual and separate processes in each branch can cause overcapacity and other reservation-related problems. When it comes to efficiency, since the reports are manually done, these are stored in the office, so it will consume a valuable space and subject to damage or loss. When it comes to their current services, if customers are to be accommodated in a manual data, if manual data is used, it may take a lot of time to record all necessary data per customer. In some instances, customers may have a very little patience, and there is a possibility that the customer may leave and transfer from other company or ticketing booth where they can acquire a quick bookings or reservations. So my team and I, our recommendations for these problems, we are proposing an efficient system to ease the issue of bus ticket booking and reservation. So this enables customer to perform online reservations via internet. Customers can use this program directly on the website, no installation needed. This online bus ticket reservation system is a web-based application that provides the benefit of a total in-house management of a ticket bookings. It was developed using several programming languages such as HTML, PHP, SQL, CSS, Bootstrap, and JavaScript. So this is the context diagram of the proposed system. This is in the circle, that is the online bus ticket reservation system, along with the users and the actions done within. So the proposed system addressed the issues from the current system. Transaction data real time. As the customer purchases ticket online, booking confirmation and reference number will then be issued. Data automatically be saved in the database and admin personnel can refer to it at any time of the day. In generating sales report, the admin personnel gather data from cashless sales, receivables, and ticket purchases from daily transaction to produce monthly reports, and management can use the system to analyze the company's current operations and financial conditions. The proposed system as well can be able to automate the computation of payments. Customer will book a ticket and total amount will automatically be computed by the system. So this will minimize human error. The system was designed to be user-friendly for the customer and will be able to engage more visitors to stay on page. So the basic objectives is that not to attract, but to turn visitors into customers. Once a person goes through the different pages of the website, reads the content, knows about the services, the person can take necessary actions as suggested by the system. So the admin personnel will be handling an easy task and will limit the time consumed in making records of daily transaction and sales reports. So for the analysis, the company will purchase specialized software and hire an IT consultant and support team to implement and develop software and maintain an online booking reservation system. For the technological, the system helps the company in reducing cost of operations and utilizing sales and reports. It requires internet connection, new hardware, and higher memory capacity. With the economic analysis, company will purchase new computers to comply with the system requirements. IT consultant and technical team will configure the software and network. When it comes to schedule, it will reduce overtime workload. So increase company profit after a year of system implementation. So now I want to show you the sneak peek of an Elms Busliner Company Limited online bus ticket reservation system. It was developed by my team and I. So this is the home page where you can see all the features within the system. This is the customers page where customers input information like origin, destination, and desired date of travel. Another customers page where customer can select type of accommodation and input number of guests and information. This is the payment and contact information where information page where the customer find the booking reference number and it will be used for payment references. And this is the admin's page where admin personnel can see the customer's booking details. Another admin page for refunds, discounts for senior citizens, and can be seen and processed successfully there. So in conclusion, the company has acquired the following benefits from the proposed system. And these benefits are: the business is opened around the clock. Payments are made easier and faster, so customer can maximize the reservation, easy access to find data, cut employees' workload, and security of files and records. So before I end this presentation, I'd like to share this quote: "Don't give up. Normally, it is the last key on the ring which opens the door," by Paulo Coelho. So that's all. If there are any questions, you are free to ask. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Miss Lorena. So, let's see if there's any question would like to give. So I guess, Dean, there's no question. Sure.
Go ahead, Madam Moderator.
Okay, I guess that will be all. So thank you, Miss Lorena. So I would like, yes. Yes,
Beng, I think
Dr. Pasigi, yes, sir.
May isang tanong lang ako kay Miss Lorena. Lorena, ginagamit na ba ito ng bus line ngayon?
Hindi pa po, sir. Ang hiningi lang po nila sa amin actually is yung homepage. Yun yung gagawin. Pero in-offer namin na gagawan sila ng system. So i-offer namin sa kanila since nagkaroon ng pandemic, so hindi nagkaroon ng chance na lumabas kami. So by this time, and I don't think if nag-resume na rin yung travel nila ngayon. So we will check po and we will try to offer this for them.
Okay, so I saw Sir Francis.
Yeah. Have you checked how are other bus lines doing? Kasi yung ticketing reservation system has been with the industry for quite some time, no? Siguro sa akin lang, I feel na kung ano yung purpose ng study, kung ang purpose ng study nyo is for you to really conduct and experience the mechanics, then I find everything is okay, no? But let's say if developing a software or an application where there are already advanced applications, then maybe you could have focused more on other things, no? Pero kung purpose is how to conduct the study, yun ang purpose na ginawa nyo, that's very good. Because online ticketing has been with us for decades. No offense, net, no?
Yes, sir.
In fact, yung kaninang pinresent na auto search, that study can be very good dun sa mga, let's say, offer mo sa mga Toyota dealers. Because the direction now is yung mga auto shop, mawawala na yan. Lahat ng coaching lalabas na, puro sa mga dealer na, no? So, for a person na halimbawa kotse mo luma na, may diferensya na, bibili ka ng application para lang sa auto search, hindi na magagamit yon. In fact, karamihan ng kotse ngayon, pag nagkotse ka, kailangan alam mo yung shop na pupuntahan mo, tsaka hindi ka babiyahe doon sa talagang hindi ka sigurado, no? So if the exercise is how to conduct the study, then everything is well fine. I really salute, no? But if the intention is to develop an application for possible commercialization or something innovative, siguro yun munang study if there are already the same concept being applied. Then you can enhance it. So, kasi yun ang isang problema ng industry natin, no? We need engineers who can appreciate existing applications, make modifications for commercialization and application. Parang hindi na natin kailangan mag-develop pa kung ang purpose natin is for commercialization. Pero kung ang training natin is to develop, then there is nothing wrong. We can start any procedure for that matter. Just
Okay,
a plain
sir.
ano. Okay.
Sir, pwedeng sagutin ko lang po kasi this system was customized only for Elms Busliner Company Limited. Actually, nag-interview kami, nag-survey po kami sa series ng ticketing office sa Alabang kung sino po yung gustong magpagawa sa amin din actually ng system. So sila po ang nag-agree and they told us to customize a system for them. Actually, the homepage is already naipakita na po sa kanila. So etong system, yun po yung i-workout namin na ipapakita sa kanila. Naka-customize lang po ito sa Elms Busliner Company Limited lang po.
Okay, that's
So
very good.
hindi
No?
po siya general. Hindi po
Okay.
siya for general.
Okay, I appreciate that, no? So that's very good, no? Kaya ngayon ako is kung ang purpose is for you to draw, prepare it, and then you consider existing application and customize it, no? Parang we don't need to reinvent the wheels. Kung may existing na, kinustomize natin, that's very good, no? I mean, not for anything, no? But kasi sa akin, I would push for success, no? Kasi kung hindi natin makikita yung what will be the outcome, kung ang outcome lang study lang or it can be part ng kumbaga ano. Pero kung yan inadapt nga, sinabi nyo na i-customize nyo existing program or application or you develop one for them, that's well and good. Because yung ticketing system has been with us for quite some time, no? I'm now 72 because I am with transportation. So medyo familiar ako sa transportation and I have been doing business consultancy on bus companies. Okay? So my comment is not to ano but for wider perspective.
None taken po.
Okay.
Sir, thank you, and Miss Lorena. So I would like to close this forum by thanking all the presenters for a job well done, and to all our participants who keenly listen and raise their questions accordingly. So I would like you to turn you over to Ma'am Alcaide. Ma'am, thank you.
Yes, Ms. Beng, thank you so much for being our moderator today. And of course, congratulations in advance to all our presenters. You really made this day mind-blowing as we have witnessed your research presentation. And to show our recognition to our research presenters, certificate of attendance or recognition will be awarded. And to make this possible, may I call in our College Dean, Dr. Danilo Cabal.
Thank you very much, everyone. Indeed, it was a very scholarly morning, and thank you for participating in this very worthy activity. I already received some feedbacks and comments from our guests a while ago. Sana daw it was better if it was opened to everybody, or perhaps it went live in our FB page. But let us innovate and let us do it next time. After all, this is just the first. For the meantime, I invite everybody to please let us give our advisors and our presenters a big round of applause for a job well done for this morning. Let us give them all a round of applause. Let us now award the certificates of appreciation. Certificate of recognition, that is certificate of recognition is hereby awarded to the first presenter, Professor Carlo R. Labrador, Master in Business Administration, for participating or for being a presenter during the first annual, hindi ko po masyado mabasa, masyado kasi maliit, Institutional Research Forum entitled Seeding the Culture of Research Across Discipline, given the 17th day of July 2021. Signed, Dr. Aris Ignacio, Doctor of Information Technology, Chair Scientific Committee, and the College Dean, Dr. Danilo H. Cabal, yours truly. Thank you very much. The next certificate is hereby awarded to Professor Menzel Z. Caballo, Master in Business Administration. During the first annual Institutional Research Forum with the same title. Signed, Dr. Aris Ignacio, Doctor of Information Technology, and yours truly. Presenter, please, would you receive them, please?
Sir, thank you very much. It is our honor to be part of this annual research, and all of your advice has been taken. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next certificate, of course, is hereby given to Dr. Professor Ronnie E. Pazige, Doctor of Philosophy.
Thank you.
With the same citation, Dr. Ron.
Yeah, thank you, SBCA, of course, for this milestone. Thank you to the BPAA and to the College Dean and to the community. I mean, the committee in charge through Dr. Aris, the chair, and all the people behind this. This is truly worth commendable. It's really, as BPAA mentioned, a milestone for SBCA. I want to see the next. I am excited to see the second annual.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ron. Next. The same certificate is hereby awarded to Professor Edsel B. Basilia, Master of Arts in History. As this award is being given as a presenter, again signed by Dr. Aris Ignacio and yours truly. Professor Basilia, please. Thank you very much. Next certificate is hereby awarded to Mr. Regido Dizon for being a research presenter during the first institutional research forum entitled Seeding the Culture of Research Across Discipline, signed Dr. Aris Ignacio and yours truly.
Thank you very much po sa award recognition. Thank you po.
Thank you very much. Next certificate is awarded to Professor Bea S. Guevara for being a research presenter during the annual institutional research forum entitled Seeding the Culture of Research Across Discipline, given the 17th day of July 2021 at St. Bernadette College of Alabang, Muntinlupa City, signed Dr. Aris Ignacio, Doctor of Information Technology, and yours truly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much and congratulations, Ms. Bea. Next certificate is hereby awarded to Lorena N. Guzman for being a research presenter during the first annual institutional research forum entitled Seeding the Culture of Research Across Discipline, given this 17th day of July, year 2021 at St. Bernadette College of Alabang, Muntinlupa City, signed Dr. Aris Ignacio, Doctor of Information Technology, Chair, Scientific Committee, and yours truly. Thank you very much again, Ms. Lorena. Would you please receive your certificate?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you and congratulations, and not only for this endeavor of yours, but to your upcoming graduation.
Thank you po.
Certificate of recognition is also awarded to Christian Ruedas for being a research presenter during the first annual institutional research forum entitled Seeding the Culture of Research Across Discipline, given the 17th day of July 2021 at St. Bernadette College of Alabang, Muntinlupa City, signed Aris Ignacio, Doctor of Information Technology, Chair, Scientific Committee, and signed by yours truly, College Dean.
Thank you for the certification that you have given to me.
Thank you. Certificate of recognition is hereby given to Professor Annabel S. Pelayo, Master of Education, Major in Guidance and Counseling, for being the moderator for this morning's research forum. Now you know what is the duty of a moderator. You cannot leave anytime. So you will stay for the whole duration of the program, and you are always on guard.
Thank you, Dean. First timer. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Beng. You saved my day. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Beng. Thank you. all certificates. All members of the scientific committee will also receive certificates signed by the Vice President for Academic Affairs. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Aris. And also thank you to our honorable keynote speaker this morning, Ambassador Dr. Froilan Mobo. I'm now turning it over. The microphone is hereby given again to the MC.
Thank you, Dean.
Before that, please receive your certificate. Certificate of recognition is hereby awarded to Professor Heriberta Alcaide, Master of Arts in Education, Major in English, for being the MC or the Master of Ceremony during the first annual Institutional Research Forum entitled Seeding the Culture of Research Across Discipline. I hope one day you will not be the MC, but one of the presenters. Signed, Dr. Aris Ignacio, Chair, Scientific Committee, and yours truly.
Thank you, Dean. Hopefully po. Thank you so much po.
Thank you very much. The floor is yours again, Professor Alcaide.
Thank you, Dean. So once again, congratulations po to all presenters, advisors, and of course, to all the people behind this are the members of Scientific Committee. Surely this first research forum serves as another milestone in the history of SBCA. And despite of our new normal situation, learning and innovation never stop in our institution. So before your final curtain is up, may I call in Doc Ron Pasigi, the co-chair of Scientific Committee, to give us his closing remarks. Doc Ron, the floor is yours.
Okay. Ang haba ng palakpak. Okay. So there's a beginning. There's a beginning. There's an end. Truly, today's activity is memorable and historical. It is one of the many academic and scholarly activities I have witnessed during my 3 years at St. Bernadette College of Alabang. Teachers are not just consumers of knowledge, but teachers are generators of knowledge. I'm very much happy, and I'm very much with pride and dignity to be part of this academic activity that at St. Bernadette College of Alabang, we have started to seed the culture of research across discipline. I long to see in the next years that we will not just be seeding the culture of research, but we will be cultivating the culture of excellence in research. Research is intended for improvement. Research is intended for innovation. And research is intended for consumerism. Teachers and students alike join hands to do this endeavor, not only for our personal task, not only for the certificates we get to be included in the portfolio, but much more. We do this for the sake and for the purpose of our dear institution, St. Bernadette College of Alabang, so that our dearest, beloved administrators, the President, the Vice President for Academic Affairs, the Vice President for Research, the College Dean, shall all be guided through the findings, through the conclusions of our scholarly endeavors. Thank you to all those who graced this activity, our esteemed keynote speaker, Ambassador Dr. Froilan Mobo, the academic and scientific community, of course, the ever-supportive Vice President for Academic Affairs, who never miss activities like this, the Vice President for Research, the ever-hardworking College Dean,
So thank you, Doc Ron. So he's now experiencing perhaps technical problem. Anyway, he already gave us his message to close this program. So it is truly an honor to have each and every one of you for this first research forum of SPCA. So this has been an amazing day for all of us. Thank you everyone for attending our first annual research forum this morning. God bless us all. Okay, so we will have a picture taking po for documentation.
Okay.
Sige po, paki-on na lang yung camera natin. This is a tradition. Okay, ready? Okay, first frame po ako. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Mamalu. Our students po, pwedeng mag-on. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, another one po. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay na po. Thank you, everyone. God
Thank you,
bless.
everyone. God bless everyone.
Enjoy the rest of the day. Happy weekend.
Thank you po.
Thank you very much, Madam VP, for your support. You stayed with us until the end. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, VP.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, everyone. God bless SPCA. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much, Professor Basilia, the rest of the doctors. Thank you very much, Doc Aris. I hope to see more of Dr. Mobo, and we are looking forward for a good collaboration with him as far as research is concerned. Thank you very much, Dr. Sadsad. I know kararating ko lang from the US, but you are with us. We have a lot of things to be thankful to you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy your lunch. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you ulit, Ma'am Beng. Thank you po.
Thank you, Ma'am Beng. Hindi ka makapunta ng restroom.
Nakaraos na.
Let us stop the recording now. Ano, hindi ka makapunta ng restroom, no? Hindi ka makawala.
Okay lang po. First timer.
Ma'am Lu. Yeah, Ma'am Lu, siguro improve natin yung
Thank you. Thank you, Dean.
Yeah, tingnan natin yung Christian, no? Para baka ma-cure natin.
Sir Carlo,
kung paano siya
naka-recording
magawa.
ka pa.
Opo. Thank you po.
Thank you very much. Nice seeing you, Julian.
Thank you, Doc Aris.
Julian, hindi ka